With so many meal kit services out there, it's hard to find the right one for you. Here's what I think sets Home Chef apart. Home Chef offers delicious, exciting meals anyone can cook. Rotating recipe options each week means there's always something new. Once you create your Home Chef account and set your meal preferences, it's as simple as choosing your menus for the future weeks and adjusting your delivery dates. They'll recommend meals based on dietary needs and cook time, such as quick meals, carb-conscious, vegetarian, and even easy cleanup. Your box arrives at your doorstep each week with recipe cards and perfectly portioned ingredients. You get exactly what you need. And if you don't think you have time to cook, they offer quick solutions of 15-minute recipes, microwave meals, and oven-ready options that save you time and effort in the kitchen. For a limited time only, go to homechef.com/art19 for $90 off your first month. That's a value of 10 free meals. Again, go to homechef.com/art19 for $90 off.
Skill, knack, flair, craft, ability, aptitude, expertise, genius, gift.
I'm the fucking talent. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. You know, my neighbor is snoring. You can hear him through the wall. I don't know if you guys will be able to pick it up on the broadcast here. Look, this is the most professional show you're ever going to hear in your life. Other people have jingles and jangles and fucking stingers and chyrons and all sorts of bullshit. By the way, the podcasting chyron, I'm here to tell you, not effective. Nobody reads it. Nobody sees it. There is no such thing as a podcasting chyron. I don't know why I said people have it. Well, because you know why? Because that's what I aspire to. I want to work in one of those big gold buildings that the fucking podcasters all work in. They're all fancy. Nobody's in their house like me. Everybody's got a studio these days. Now you're like, oh, there's a pandemic. Nobody's in a studio. Shut up. Don't try to disprove my point this early in the goddamn show. I'm not even a fucking minute in. And you're going to come with me at a goddamn challenge? Try to argue with me and put me off my fucking path? I will not do it. I will proceed on my path. Look at this path. You see that? There's two sets of footprints. See when there's only one set of footprints? That's when I punched you in the face and left you behind because you were challenging me with a bunch of bullshit about broadcasting. And you laid there in a heap and flies landed on your face and there's nothing you could do about it. And maggots were laying inside your nostrils and eyelids. How about that? That's what you get for questioning me in a broadcasting manner. I get fucking knock your dick in the dirt. You lay there in the sand and you become a maggot face. You want to be a maggot face? Then step up. Keep talking a bunch of yang. You'll wind up being a goddamn maggot face. That seems unnecessarily confrontational this early in the show. That's that kind of stuff that, you got to go at least a half hour before you start calling people maggot face. I'm going to tell you that right now. Just ask the people at Parliament Funkadelic. They'll tell you that. Show enough bitfish. Or shouldn't enough bitfish. Is that the name of the album? I think it is. Along with Maggot Brain, which I was referencing, because then you're going to write me and go, it wasn't Maggot Face, it was Maggot Brain. Shut up, man. Again, you stepping up and correcting me. I'm tired of it. I'm going to fucking step on your foot. That's what I'm going to do. I'll give you such a pinch. Don't even get in my way. And I'll pinch you in a bad place. It's not like I'm one of those guys going to be like, woohoo, pinch you on the ass and you giggle like a secretary in the 30s. Fuck that. I'm going to pinch your liver. You want a liver pinch? Keep fucking bringing it. Keep telling me, well, Mike, what they really meant to do is go, shut the fuck up with your actually nonsense and get ready to get a liver pinch. You'll go down in a fucking heap. I'm leaving bodies all over this broadcasting beach. Broadcast Beach. Remember that with Frankie Avalon? Ah, yes. And Annette Funicello. Ding, 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 ding. Broadcast Beach. Ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Broadcast Beach. Ding, ding. All I could think of were the words for this, the chorus. I don't know any of the verses. I didn't pay that close of attention. I was watching Don Rickles lead a group of bikers as he tried to stop Annette Funicello from dating Frankie Avalon or whatever the fuck they did. And then Batman had a surfing contest with the Joker. The beach was a weird place in the 60s. All right. I am here now, podcasting Dracula. It is 4:50 a.m. right now. And that's in Los Angeles. It's only 2:50 a.m. in Hawaii right now, so I guess I'm not really a Dracula there, although the sun is coming up in the east right now. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Look, folks, You come here for knowledge. That's what I dispense. I tell you right now, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the goddamn west. If you think otherwise, go ahead and try to challenge me. Come after me. Go ahead and bring me your charts and your fucking graphs, Copernicus. I will leave you in a heap on Broadcast Beach. You want a piece of me? Step the fuck up, man. You're going to be lying. Just bodies all over Broadcast Beach. Fucking maps, Copernicus style, you fucks. Maggot face. All right. And I step on your foot and leave you there. Yeah, it's 4:45. No, 4:50. That's what it is. Let me look at the clock. I was gonna say, look at the cock. Let me look at the cock right now. Here's what I'm gonna do. This seems weird, okay? Because these are the new podcasting times and everybody's got a show within a show. Here's the show where I jerk off. How about that? Would that be okay? What if I ran off a batch during the show? Let me ask you this. Do you think you could catch me at it? Because this is presupposing that I have not run off a batch on previous shows. You do realize that, don't you? You do understand that, don't you? There were plenty of opportunities, or there was plenty of discussion. There were possible plans hatched for me to have sex during a podcasting broadcast. I will not lie to you. That was sometimes discussed in the past, not with Lily. Don't lose your mind. Not with Lily, but there were times where I was like, this might be fun. Because look, I've done shows naked, and I've told you when I was. I've done shows from a bed. I've done shows from an airport. I've done shows from my car on a side street with people looking out their window and going, "What the fuck is this Unabomber asshole doing?" They're all just thinking to themselves, "Man, is he like Timothy Morano McVeigh and he's gonna fucking fertilizer blast our goddamn house? What's he got against our neighborhood? Is he talking to a fucking recorder out there?" And those were my best episodes. Clearly, when I cared enough about the show to bring you a show from a parking lot, that was when the show was at its peak. When I was recording anywhere all the time, because I was going, my life had changed in such a fashion that I was recording in bathrooms and airport lobbies. And of course, don't forget the side streets of goddamn Venice, California. That's what you want. That's your top broadcaster. Everybody else, like I said, they got a big building, they got studios, they got microphones and all that kind of fucking happy horse shit. You know what I got? I got me in my apartment trying to not to wake up my neighbor. I almost said trying to wake up my neighbor. Look, I don't want to wake up my neighbor. I don't want that to hassle the fucking pounds on the goddamn door. Although I do make this promise to you. If at some point I wake up a neighbor and they come over and pound on the goddamn door, I will bring the microphone over to the door and record whatever conversation happens. Are you ready for that? We're plumbing the bottom of the barrel here. We're hoping to gin up some sort of controversy or some sort of confrontation in my apartment building, the courtyard of my apartment building. Look, folks, let me tell you this. I don't have a shitty apartment building with a roof. All right. Nobody's got a fucking roof in my apartment building. My building is open to the skies. I walk outside. I get fresh air. I see the moon. Everything's fucking great. Your building, you walk out, there's a rug and a door. Ugh, terrible. Couldn't do it. It's bad enough I live in a fucking habit trail, ant farm bullshit. But the fact that I can just step out my door and be outside, that extra hallway walk is so fucking disconcerting, isn't it? Doesn't it just, it's disheartening is actually a better word. It levels you because you're in your house, you're in your apartment. You're like, man, it's gray in my apartment. I better go outside. And then you open the door for your apartment and you step out into that drab fucking, that fish belly white paint on the walls and that fucking vomit pattern carpet that you got to walk out and you got to go stairs or elevator just to get outside of the building. Oh, it's just some Hitchcockian nightmare. You just want to walk outside. Whenever there's a door, I'm going to tell you this right now. Whenever there's a fucking door, it should lead outside. I don't ever want there to be a door that goes to another door. Fuck you. Give me a door that I can open and step out into the wild blue yonder. I want to step out into the great outdoors. I want to breathe, motherfucker. I want pine air coursing through my fucking lungs. I'm 53 years old. Again, I'm almost dead. I need to walk out into sunshine immediately. Just that extra 64 seconds I have to spend indoors after leaving indoors is such a hassle that it's just a death sentence. It is so bad. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, Mike, come on. You get in the elevator, you head outside, everything's fine. No, think about it. And I'm saying this to you right now. If you're in an apartment right now, that's an apartment with it, because you know what you live in. Here's what you fucking live in. All right. Because I live in my apartment. Right. And then I step outside. It's out. I walk out the door. I'm outside. Sun, pool, wind. It's fucking gorgeous. All of the seasons are out there somewhere lurking in the bushes, for fuck's sake, hedges. Dudes with fucking snow blowers and leaf blowers and whatever the fuck, and the stars and the Milky Way and Orion the Hunter beaming down at me and going, "How's it going down there, Mike?" And I'm like, "How you doing, Big O?" And then I sashay off to my vehicle. See, because I've stepped outside into the world. It's fantastic. But you, if you live in an apartment within a building, like you got a building and then there's an apartment in that building, you know what you live in? You know what? I'm going to fucking say it right now. And I don't hold it against you because we all find ourselves wherever we find ourselves in life. But I'm going to tell you this right now. You live in a ship in a bottle. You hear me? Don't even pretend that you don't. You live in a structure inside of a structure. That's fucking awful, man. That is like the worst thing I've ever heard of in my life. Because I've done it. Look, I've done it in the past. Let's see, in Tahoe, I walked right into the great outdoors. That was fantastic. In Naperville, a few places. Yeah, no, that was 5 steps away from a door. But so what? Still walked outside into a hallway. Blah, nobody likes it. Another place in Naperville, there were stairs. Jesus, fuck, you think my fat ass wants stairs? You want me to be navigating Mount Everest just to go home? Fuck that, man. I want to step outside into the world. I need to step out where there's breath and people and the possibility. I want danger. I want to walk out into danger. You guys in your ships in a bottle, you're just fucking in there right now staring at a Buccaneer flag going, we should step outside of this bottle, but you can't squeeze out of the opening. You're not free. You're not free, man. I can hear Jimmy. Fucking ship in a bottle, motherfuckers. And you're going to tell me how to do my job? Step the fuck off, Gigantor. Oh, man, I don't want to wake anybody up, but I do. I truly do. I want to wake this whole building up. I want to get a fire alarm going. I want a smoke alarm going. What if I puffed a cigar? What if I had a butt going? What if I heat a couple of heaters? What if I lit a pack of fucking Cools to do this show and you guys didn't even realize it? That's what brought out the character in my goddamn voice. I was like fucking Snoop Dogg and Dolomite, just fucking got in a glass booth and telling everybody what's what and playing goddamn whatever songs I want to play. See, that's who I want to be. Get me into broadcasting. Get me out of this hell that I've created for myself where I wake up and I go from fucking desk to shower to kitchen to fucking to shower to bed to whatever the fuck, desk to couch, whatever. I can't even remember what the fuck it was because it's all screwed up at this point. Desk to kitchen. No, what is it? Kitchen to shower. No, bed to couch to kitchen to shower to desk to bed. Right? I don't know. Fuck, by year 12. That's when I created that. The fucking pandemic made it come out of me. Whatever the fuck I created, I said, desk to kitchen to chicken to chicken? Desk to kitchen to chicken. I'll go to a chicken. I don't care. I got some chicken in the freezer right now. Here, you know what? Let's talk about this. I'm gonna get into this for just a goddamn second. Well, all right, there's a few things I got to talk about. There's a couple of things. I only got a couple of things to run down. Well, I also need your opinion on stuff. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, Mike, you just threatened to beat us up and have maggots laying in our eyes. And you also said we live in ships in a bottle. What the fuck could you possibly want to know from us? Well, here's what I want to know. I want to ask you a question and you'll answer it for me, certainly. Well, you don't have to answer it now. And it's not a poll of any sort. Well, but you could contact me. Some of you are my friends. Some of you are close. And some of you aren't my friends. I do recognize that as well. Some of you had a very antagonistic relationship with me. And you just listen to this because you hate listening. You grind your teeth. You're like, oh, I'd like to meet this asshole on Broadcast Beach. I'd show him who'd get left in a heap. Well, if you think you're man enough, if you think you're feeling frosty, if you're feeling froggy, jump. You hear me? That's what I'm saying. Why am I challenging listeners to a fight? Why would I ever do that? That doesn't make any sense. I'm already worried every fucking day, every minute, every second that I'm alive and breathing. I'm worried that I'm going to lose listeners. I'm going to lose people who don't want to listen to this goddamn show. So now I do the show and I challenge everybody to a goddamn brawl. That doesn't make any sense. Although, maybe that puts a little zip in this. Maybe puts a little cayenne pepper in our fucking crab salad. That fucking makes everybody go ahead and step up and go, you know what? I'm going to listen to this show just on the off chance somebody takes him up on it and he has a goddamn fist fight right there on the goddamn microphone. Let's do it. You think you want a piece of me? Yeah, you say that now, but then you'll be so blind with rage, you'll walk out of your ship in a bottle and you get lost in the hallways and they'll find your bones years from now. And just with a note that with my address on it as you were trying to find a way out of the building, but you were so seeing red, you collapsed in the hallway and they found your bones years later. Your skeleton was just there with rats climbing inside of it. Did you see the dude who made a fucking guitar out of his uncle? I'm not even lying. That's not a fucking joke. That really happened. And here's all right, let's say this. I don't want to say it really happened because it's the fucking internet and I have no idea what's true and what isn't true on the goddamn internet. Because I don't want to read anything anymore. I mean, I read certain things, but I don't want to read, there's always some bumbling bullshit where someone's you ever see, there's a Twitter account called relationship.text and it takes these Reddit posts where people ask for relationship advice. And look, man, if you're sitting down to type anything into Reddit and asking for advice from people, your relationship is over. It's over. You don't need to you don't need to crowdsource your spouse or your fucking whomever, whatever the fuck you got going on. You don't need to crowdsource this bullshit because the second you do, it's over. Make a decision. Walk the fuck away. I truly believe, and look, this is not old man yells at lawn or whatever the fuck, but I believe that there are a younger generation of people like me who are so used to living their life examined and online that they feel better about things if they ask the people who, either on Instagram or the internet or whatever, if they get a crowdsourced answer. But then the best part is they'll ask, and it's always something stupid. It's like, I walked in and my husband had his dick in the babysitter. But here's the weird thing. It was in her hand, and he claimed that he tripped and it fell out, and she grabbed it to make sure he didn't fall on the floor, and she actually saved him from hurting himself. So I'm wondering, this is strange because it's never been that way before. Also, this is going to be strange. He came, which is weird because if he was falling and she just grabbed him before he fell down and he came all over her weird teenager fucking dress. But yet I still love him and I want to stay because other than this, he's great. That's one of my favorite things in all of these things. Hey, I walked in and my girlfriend was filled up like a fucking pincushion. Every hole was working. Every palm was filled. She was given a foot job at the same exact fucking time. I mean, she was working 7 cocks like a pro. But other than that, she's great. Should I stay with her? No, you fucking shouldn't. Find a goddamn door, not a teleprompter or whatever the fuck you're typing on. Get out of that house. It's all Amityville Horror at that point. The second you sit down to type for fucking advice on the internet, it's get out. That's all it is. Leave. Bail. And everybody's like, well, I have a kid. I don't want to fight. Well, then you got to deal with that shit, man. That's your fault for fucking shooting bullets into the ether. If you hadn't fucking fertilized the ovum or whatever the fuck, then you wouldn't have to be having this kid conversation. You would have to tell your kid every fucking weekend, yeah, this is cool. Your mom doesn't mind that I take you for hot dogs. Hey, how's Larry? You want to ask your kid how Larry is every fucking weekend? Then do something stupid and not leave your fucking wife and knock her up first. Jesus Christ. Because if you want to have kids, you got to go. That's the long haul, man. Now you're in. And be a good dad or be a good mom or be whatever the fuck. Don't be a jagoff. All right. What do I know? I have no kids. Because you know why? Because I knew. Because I fucking knew, man. You want to talk about the fucking patient zero for writing for advice about a kid? I'd be the fucking worst. My dad was, his blood type was hams. You know what I mean? So, I got no fucking guidance there. And then my mom had a never-ending string of convicts and drug addicts who went and visited and hung out at my house. Those are good guys to turn to. Hey, Mike Carnett, prison barber. What do you think I should do with my son? Get the fuck out of here. Hey, Ruben, you and my mom are doing coke. You can go ahead and stop for a second because I'd ask what would I do if my kid wants some help building a Lego set and I have to go to work? What would I say to let him down gently? No, it's never happening. Fuck. Hey, Bob, my mom's boyfriend, we only met once, even though she dated you for not even fucking joking 10 years. That's not a joke. There was this dude. He was a disembodied voice. He would call my mom. Because my mom was, and look, they were dating, whatever, a relationship. I don't fucking know. It might have been the precursor of the, maybe my mom and Bob invented Netflix and chill. Perhaps they did. I don't know what they were doing. I'm sure they were very happy about it, but we loved it. Like I've said before, because we'd be at home and the phone would ring at like fucking 9:30 at night. And you knew it was fucking Robert. And we'd, hey, is your mom there? Yeah. Who's calling? It's Bob. And we would always, Lenny and I'd be like, yes, because that meant my mom was going to stay overnight at Bob's house and we could stay up all fucking night and do whatever the fuck we wanted, which was the best thing ever. But did I ever get to ask him any parenting questions? No, that never happened. Phone rings. Hey, is your mom there? Who's calling? Bob. Bob, hi. Hey, I want to ask you a question. When I grow up to be big and strong and I have babies of my own, do you think it's going to be weird if they come to me and they say that they need help with their homework when I haven't really gone ahead and applied myself in school to learn that much about chemistry? And he's going to be like, tell your mom I'm breaking up with her, click, because he doesn't want to answer any fucking questions. I used to wonder if Bob knew how many kids my mom had. And look, my mom was discreet. Because I will tell you this, I've been talking to my mom recently, and she's doing that thing where she's telling me stuff about her life that I didn't know. And also, my mom knows everything about everybody. My mom knows like everything about the family. So she'll come to me and she'll just be like, "Oh my God," and she'll tell me something. And I'm like, I don't even want to. Why do you know that? Like, I'm like, I don't want to know this. How do you know it? How the fuck is this something you have privy to? Oh, come on now. Oh, Michael, calm down. But then she laughs her ass off at me because I'm always just like, I don't. Our next guest. I don't need to fucking hear any of this bullshit. So the fuck was I talking about? Oh, see, the internet. Fuck. I don't believe the internet. Like I said, this fucking Reddit thing, any of these bullshit, it's all made up. Everything's a joke. It's always some goof. It's always like, hey, did you hear about the guy who fucked a gumball machine and then he got the gumballs pregnant and they all hatched like with little babies and somebody bought them all and then had a little gumball army? You're like, yeah, I guess so. That happened. Because it's the internet said it. That's where I saw it. It was what the internet said. But I just saw this, so I saw some picture. And again, I didn't read the story because I can't read the story because, again, they might bamboozle me and try to fool me. This happens on Twitter all the fucking time. There's these dudes who, they change their name and their photo so they look like a football reporter. And so they have the full name of the football reporter and the picture of the football reporter, but their @ name on Twitter is like, Boba Fuck 91, and you're like, oh Jesus, because you didn't realize it was Boba Fuck 91, and instead you read the Major League Baseball trade rumor, and you're like, hold on a second, that sounds interesting. So that happened to me once, and then I went, you know what, fuck this forever. So now I don't read it, like I don't believe any of the shit I read. I don't even the experts who write it. I'm just like, nope, don't believe you until shit's done. I don't believe any of this stuff. And the same thing happens on fucking Reddit and all these other places. So when I see a picture of something that looks like it's too good to be true, when someone's like, look at this rabbit, it's as big as a fucking radio flyer. So what? Good night, night of the lepus. Okay, maybe get a fucking big ass carrot and feed it. Like, you ever see the giant chicken? I'm sure the giant chicken is real, but I'm also not sure the giant chicken is real because I'm sure there's some trick lens or some bullshit. Because it's this chicken's like fucking, look, first of all, it's like 15 years old. I think this meme or this fucking video clip. I love the video clip of the giant chicken. I'm not going to argue with you about it. Don't try to come to me and go, Mike, that's not cool, because I'll tell you right now, it's fucking cool. Whether it's a trick or not a trick, or it's just some fucking John Wick chicken that rules the goddamn roost. All of a sudden, there's like a bunch of little hens and stuff running around, and then this big fucking Brock Lesnar Rhode Island Red comes bursting out of a fucking chicken house, and it squeezes out barely, and then it's like, boom. Boom. It's feeder making the same noise the Ed Kemper actor made in fucking Mindhunter, and it's just fucking flopping around. And I'm like, man, look at that fucking chicken. Because I gotta be, look, I'll say this to you. All right, totally true. If you see this big fucking chicken on a farm, and I'm not a farmer, just like I'm not a dad, okay? But if I'm a fucking farmer and I've got a giant chicken that big, you're weighing the pros and cons. You're like, all right, I could go viral with a video clip, or I could cook the fuck out of this chicken. I could cook the fuck out of this chicken right now. Wouldn't you cook the fuck out of that chicken? Don't you raise chickens to eat chickens? Especially boy chickens, because girl chickens lay eggs, which is fine, and then you can keep them fucking forever and you don't have to kill them. But the dude chickens, they're just born for the axe, right? Aren't they just gonna get fucking plucked and cooked and dumped in the fucking garbage can? Because I'll tell you this. I don't know where you're going to fucking cook this dude, this gigantic fucking chicken. And because again, I'm not lying. This chicken was built like a Yugo. I mean, it was fucking huge, man. This chicken had windshield wipers. That's not a lie. It was and they were factory installed. This thing came out of the fucking egg. I can't imagine this thing came out of an egg. How big was that fucking egg? You ever see those ostrich eggs that feed 5 people? They're green. You got to open them with a fucking hammer. Which, by the way, fuck the world. Hey, look, there's always that running joke about who's the first guy to eat an egg. Hey, this came out of a chicken's ass. I should break it open and eat it, which is, of course, silly and dumb, right? Haha, let's all have fun. And that's fine. It's also a concept that I totally get. It's like, all right, that seems weird. Why would you eat something that came out of something's ass? But also, cavemen at the time, they were eating each other. They don't give a fuck. Caveman would eat your cock if you fell asleep too close to the fire. They don't give a flying fuck about you or your cock. They just think you're a tasty breakfast. But fucking chickens and shit like that, they're just made to be eaten. That's what they're there for. That's what they're ready to fucking do. They're ready to get fucking plowed, for fuck's sake. And I just think that if you had a chicken as big as a fucking Yugo, it had to come from somewhere. And you see those fucking ostrich eggs and you think to yourself, who the fuck was the first dude to eat an emu egg? I mean, look, it's bad enough trying to eat an emu, of course. But if you had a fucking egg that shell was so thick, you had to smash it open with a fucking hammer. You can't be thinking to yourself, oh, this is a serious delicacy. I mean, unless it's the same principle as, oh man, everybody keeps their money in a safe and those are hard to break into. So I'll bet this is the most expensive, delicious egg I've ever had in my life because this fucking egg's got a combination. I don't know, man. It's like eating, I'd rather eat a Fabergé egg than a fucking ostrich egg, for fuck's sake. But you see that giant chicken, you think there had to be a mighty fate that befell him, right? Because also, look, man, you're the farmer. And like I said, you got a choice. You can either go, look at this chicken, he's awesome. He plays like the guy with the tic-tac-toe chicken in fucking New York. That chicken saved his own fucking life. They were going to cook that chicken. He was going to be Peking duck hanging in the fucking window, and he just went, buck, 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 X. And they're like, what the fuck? Did that chicken just say X? And then they put him in a box, and he beat tourists at X's and O's for the rest of his goddamn life. They fed him feed. He got to fuck all the other chickens. He was thrilled because he stood out. He was the Michael Jordan of game-playing chickens. And that's why they put him in a box. And look, is that a life? You're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's not much of a life. You're in a box in Times Square and you got to play, or in Chinatown, whatever the fuck. You got to play against kids and whatever, tic-tac-toe. Let me ask you this. How much of his life is being broasted? Let me ask you, really, think to yourself. How much of a life is getting plucked and fucking crisply skinned and hanging in a window until some fat idiot like me comes to Chinatown and goes, I like Peking duck, and eats the fuck out of you? See, that's not good at all. I'd rather match wits with the children of the neighborhood. That's what I would rather do. If you asked me, if you put it on the line, they said, hey, let me ask you something. Would you rather match wits with the children of the neighborhood in quite possibly the most simple game ever invented, or would you rather be fried to a crisp and eaten by tourists? You know what? I'm going to go 9 out of 10 times, because I can't discount one wild hair where I choose getting eaten by tourists. But 9 out of 10 times, lock me in that box and I will fuck you up X style, baby. That's it. And it's the same thing. Top right, you go middle, I go bottom right. You go middle, I go block you. And then you go top right, and then I go block you again. And then I go bottom left. And then we're just cats game. It's a goddamn cats game, me and you. And you know what? You'll just fucking play me forever, and I will dominate you in my stuffed up machine. I'm just jammed in this box, and I don't fucking care. I would rather fucking cats game you for all eternity than be eaten by tourists. But again, that's 9 out of 10 times. One of those times I'm going to wake up and go, you know what, man? I feel like getting fucking masticated. Somebody masticate the fuck out of me. Let's get some tourists to bite me. Who wants to bite me right now? Chew me and swallow me, separate me. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna put this on the label for you. Put the label, maybe the table. Maybe I'll put it on the label table. Maybe I do that. You know, it says Libby's on the label. You will like it on your table. Let me put this out there for you. If you were to be eaten, and I'm talking like by fucking cannibalized dudes, or, you know, your neighbor or whatever the fuck, Dahmer, who cares? Would you rather be eaten by a tribe of cannibal dudes, or would you rather be eaten by one dude like a Jeffrey Dahmer? Because the thought process is, if one dude eats you, you're still together. Like your skin, your bones, your everything about you is still in his belly or whatever the fuck, and in his whatever, and in his fridge. You're still you. Like if something happens, if some weird miracle happens, all of you is still there. Certainly been chewed up. And as we've discussed this before, I don't know what it's like because again, I don't read the Bible as often as I should, which means never. But isn't it true that like you, like I've told you, I've speculated, this is why I'm not an organ donor. Cause if I go upstairs and there's the fucking pearly gates with Shabba-Doo doing his dance and fucking Santa Claus is there, he opens the book. He's going to go, hey man, did you bring your liver? I'm going to go, no man, somebody pinched it on fucking Broadcast Beach. And he's going to go, well, you're going to non-liver heaven then. And then you got to go to non-liver heaven. You got to eat fucking just boiled chicken breasts and all sorts of garbage because your liver's not there to fucking process the food inside you. See, that's the thing. You can't give away your fucking gizzards, because then you show up in heaven empty. And then it's like, what's up, empty Joe? You got to go to fucking empty heaven. And then you're up there and you can't eat anything because the food would go from your mouth all the way right down to your ball sack. You want a ball sack full of chewed food? How gross does that sound? But you'd do it because you gave away your stomach. Good for you, genius. Way to sign that fucking card and go, you know what? If something happens to me, here's me. Here's how benevolent I am. I want to share this with the world. If something happens to me, please, give some unfortunate sod my stomach. And they're like, all right, man. So then you die. They take out your whole fucking GI system. And then they fucking put it in some other dude who's like, ho, look at me using this used stomach to all of its capacity. And then you float your ghost up to Santa's house and he's just like, hey, man, what's going on? You're like, nothing. He's like, you sound hollow in there. And you're like, well, yeah, I gave my stomach to a poor unfortunate. He's like, well, look at you going to stomachless heaven. And then he's like, you're like, what? And he's like, yep. And you can't eat because otherwise the food will wind up in your ball sack. And then what do? You stare forlornly at stomach heaven. It's way across the fucking bow because they don't want you sneaking over there and trying to eat something. And then you fucking get all bottom heavy. Like the Butcher, the Baker, and the Candlestick Maker toys that I had when I was a kid that were like Weebles, and my brother threw one through the fucking window and then he blamed me. We both got grounded. Yeah, man. You don't want to be fucking... So I would rather be eaten by one dude. You know, but then if you're eaten, do you go to heaven as a pile of masticated chow? Or just a bunch of fucking Dahmer diarrhea? Is that what fucking happens? I can't believe I used that word. It's disgusting. I can't believe I said it. I don't like scat. You know that. It's gross. But in this instance, we have to talk about it. We have to discuss it. If you get chewed up... Because he's not chewing you up and spitting you out. I don't think Dahmer's watching his weight at that point. Bulimic Dahmer? Oh, how fucking nasty is that? He fucking sautés you. He fricassees your goddamn kidneys and he chomps them up and spits them out because he's like, no, I got to keep trim. I got to keep trim from my job at the chocolate factory. You know, I have bonbons over there. I had one too many today, so it means I can't fully digest your spleen. What the fuck, Dahmer? If you don't be watching your weight, Dahmer, if you're going to eat me, eat me. Eat all of me. Eat every goddamn piece. I demand that you have like a fucking toe fruit salad and a fucking sandwich full of hair. Just do that. You're damn right that fucking time code's going down there. That's going to be the name of the show, don't you think? A toe fruit salad and a sandwich full of hair. It's a lot of words, but we'll figure it out. Unless something else pops up later. There could be something even better later. Wouldn't that be grand? But that's the deal, man. You see this stuff on the internet and I can't believe any of it. I don't want to believe any of it. I can't believe it. I can't invest myself in it. And then, because you get hosed. That's the deal. You fucking go all in on it. You're like, oh man, check it out. Giant chicken. And everybody's like, ha ha, stupid. It was done with mirrors. You're fooled by a chicken. And then you feel just as dumb as the people who lost a goddamn tic-tac-toe to the fucking chicken in a box. But that chicken is glorious. He's just killing everybody. He lives a fucking quality life. It's like the chicken who used to pick the Super Bowl. You ever see that chicken? There was a chicken who gave predictions for the Super Bowl. He'd fucking walk out, kick a ping pong ball or whatever into a box or whatever the fuck, or he'd peck his beak through a picture of a helmet or something. I don't know. It's just all dumb. What a dumb world. We have truly the dumbest world imaginable. It is just the stupidest thing ever. People looking for fucking any sort of distraction. I don't know. Let's have a fucking chicken pick the Super Bowl. Yes. Put it on the news. That's the even worse part. Every year it would be like, oh, and then don't forget that Tuffy Timmy, the chicken in Florida, went ahead and picked this year's Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. What the fuck? I don't know. How did you finagle that into the news? Who called the news? Hey, I got an angle for you. Check this out. I got a chicken. The news guy's like, there's chickens all over the fucking place. Like, hold on a second. I got a chicken who picks winners. What? Yeah, that's right. I got a chicken who picks fucking Super Bowl winners. Really? He does. And he can pick the final score. You gotta be fucking kidding me. No, I'm dead serious. Get a camera crew over here immediately. Of course we will. With a siren on the van. Woo! They go out to the Everglades and view this guy's chicken in a fucking shitbox kicking ping pong balls on the number 7. And they go, oh, you know what that means? They're going to score a touchdown. Jesus, you got bamboozled by fucking future chicken. I can't believe that happened to you. The fucking news media jumped right on it. That makes water skiing squirrel look like the fucking Salt 2 talks. You gotta go ahead and have fucking Super Bowl chicken. Water skiing squirrel, Super Bowl chicken. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And now the new thing I see all these videos of people that go on safari and they feed like camels a sandwich or whatever the fuck. You ever see that? There are people who are like, they drive through. Look, man, just, and I know my buddy Mike's gone on these. He went and looked at gorillas and shit in the mist, and good for him. And I think to myself that I'd go to the jungle. Because at this point with the fucking pandemic, get me out of my fucking apartment, step me into the courtyard and fly me to the moon. I'll play a chicken at tic-tac-toe. I'll watch a chicken pick the Super Bowl. I'll watch a squirrel water ski and I'll go watch monkeys in the mist. I'm cool with all of that, man. But in the old days, it was like, why are you going on safari? People are on safari and they got the windows rolled down. And this is the thing that always freaks me out. Like, you go to the jungle. You see these fucking idiots. They go to the jungle, which is fine. Look, they're not idiots. Everybody's looking for adventure. All right, you want to go to the fucking jungle? Go to the jungle. But please recognize the jungle's not your territory. The jungle's not your turf. It's like when you're in your house. Okay, you're in your house. And like, just say like a sparrow flies into your house. You're like, what the fuck? Know your role, sparrow. And you try to chase him with a broom to get him out of your fucking house. You know why? Because you're freaked out. Because the contract that exists between humans and birds has been broken. He has burst into your fucking domicile and he's go ahead and flying around, shitting on everything. He's singing. He's trying to build a nest. You're like, what the fuck, bird? Go outside. There's trees everywhere. And you can't do anything about it. You're trying to chase him. And look, unless you're going to fucking gack that bird, he's not going to leave unless he wants to. But he's also just as scared as you are. But sometimes some brazen bird might have come in because he's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm tired of living outside. Let's do this. It's fucking raining. Let me in your fucking place. And he sparrows out and he flies in and he looks at you and he sings. Then he eats your bird bell. Which you have a bird bell, don't you? That might have been my issue when I had the sparrow. I have a bird bell hanging in my house. I hung it to taunt them. Yeah, this is probably a bad idea on my part. I hung a birdseed bell in my window to taunt the birds so they would fly at the window and smash into it. Was that smart? Probably wasn't. But then they got the revenge because I opened the screen door once to step outside into the world, not a fucking hallway, but the world. And sure enough, the sparrow, who was playing dead on the ground, leaped to his bird feet and he swooped into my house to eat bird bell stuff and laugh at me. I like how I turned that into a situation involving me when it involved you a second ago. Anyway, so here's the thing. When the bird comes into your house, you freak the fuck out because, again, the understanding we have at the bird world is you stay the fuck out there, we'll stay in here. Now, look, we fucked that agreement up millions of times by bringing the birds into our house and putting them in a cage. So, again, that's just like their ship in a bottle. You got a bird in a cage in a house, that's fucked. And also, we fuck it up because then we go outside and the birds are like, all right, cool, this is where we live. And you're like, really? We're going to cut down all of these trees right now. And the bird's like, what the fuck? Why? Well, can we live in your apartment? No. Why are we jagoffs to birds? We deserve every bad thing a fucking bird could possibly do to us. And that gets me back to the goddamn safari. Because like I said, when you're at home and a sparrow flies into your house, that breaks the contract that you had with birds that they would stay outside and you could be inside, but also come outside sometimes. But then you go into the jungle. All right. You see these people that go to the jungle and like a fucking barnyard owl swoops into their car and lands on their dashboard and they start screaming like they just saw 5 murders at once and they're freaking the fuck out. Because, also barn owls are fucking gigantic. They will claw the fuck out of you, man. They're not, because, and you ask an owl, he's not fucking around. He's like, who? You, motherfucker. I'm schooling you. You know why? Because you came to the fucking jungle. You asked for this shit. If you stay, again, there's a contract. Birds stay outside, you stay inside, but then you sometimes live in the outside. But the jungle is where they live, man. That's asking for fucking trouble. That's like going to the Ducky Boys territory. You're going to get caught on the football field and smashed by those idiots. Unless you got the big fucking dude who looks like Ernie Kovacs on steroids there with a fucking plank from the stands to help you win the fight. And then the Wongs, don't fuck with the Wongs. But sure enough, man, you go to the jungle, that's their fucking place. That's where owls live and gorillas and cheetahs and gazelles and all those assholes. Let me ask you this. You always see these nature shows, right? Where there's a gazelle or an antelope and he's hauling fucking balls. And all of a sudden behind him, you'll see there's like a tiger and a cheetah, both just fucking going, all right, we're going to catch this dude and he's lunch. Are we going to split it? And the tiger's like, yes, but the tiger's not really going to split it with the fucking cheetah. He's going to scare him off. And then a leopard blazes past 2 of them and he's just like, haha, I will get this gazelle. Now let me ask you this. You see it on TV and you're like, holy fuck, that's exciting and amazing. Now, if you saw it from your car in the jungle, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe this is happening in front of my very eyes. Now, picture this. The gazelle, in his fucking haste to escape tiger, cheetah, leopard trio, looks and sees your car and he just fucking makes a beeline for it and he dives through the fucking windshield into your car to hide from the monsters. Do you get pissed? Are you mad at him? Are you angry? Or do you realize that, you know what, I'm in his habitat, he deserves to fucking duck into my goddamn car. I'm just a hiding place. That's all you are at that fucking point. You have no privilege. You can't be like, oh, you know what, this is a Buick, sir. No, fuck no. That gazelle's like, I don't give a fuck if it's a Buick or an ant mound or a fucking pile of hedges. If it gets me away from the gnashing jaws of 3 separate cats, I'm hiding in your fucking car, motherfucker. By the way, do you happen to have an owl I could talk to? Because he would know the laws of the fucking jungle and the 2 of us would explain them to you post-haste, motherfucker. But these people freak out. Like I saw some video, and look, I will tell you this too. There's another video, a couple of Arab dudes just wearing their Arab clothes, and they're out in the fucking, I don't know if they're in the jungle or the desert. I don't know. They're where camels live. And the driver is sitting there, and the other dude has like, it looked like baguettes. Because also I thought it was a grinder at first. I'm like, what are you doing with a fucking Italian sub in the middle of the desert, you fucking idiot? Who stops? Is there a Subway in the Sahara? I know they're pretty much everywhere, but Jesus Christ, I can't imagine where you're picking up sub sandwiches in the middle of the fucking desert, but good for you. Or in the jungle or whatever the fuck, which would be another reason for these fucking animals to dive into our fucking car and fuck with us, because we built a Subway there. Not even a Blimpie. At least build a Blimpie for these motherfuckers. Just give them that. But no, you got to build a Subway in the middle of the fucking desert. And then this guy grabs a couple of subs for the road. And then sure enough, they park. And what happens? Some fucking camels are coming over. And they stick their gigantic camel heads in the fucking window. Because here's another thing. People think their fucking animals are cartoons. They'll watch fucking Sir Richard Attenborough and he's like, the delicate camel is loping through the desert. He's looking for his family now, trying to avoid danger and also stay cool in the evening sun. And everybody's like, oh, that's cute. I would love to be there. Until you get there. And then a camel spits in your fucking eye and sneezes on your lap. And then you're like, I am covered in camel drool. This is fucking awful, man. But yet you can't just go, excuse me, camel, that was rude, because you're in the camel's house. You ventured out to Desert Town, man. You deserve this. You're in a fucking sandcastle, and you get everything that you fucking deserve when you're in a fucking sandcastle. You came to their house, man. You're in camel neighborhood. So these ass fucks are sitting there, like, not even ass fucks. One guy is terrified, all right? I don't want to give this guy the business. The other idiot is the jerk, the guy with the sub sandwiches or the fucking baguette, whatever the fuck he's got. And there's a camel who sticks his head in the passenger side window. Now, look, I'm going to, all right, look, I think it's the driver's side window. All right, look, in America, it would be the driver's side window. Does that make sense? The left window. And that dude at that window is terrified of this camel, all right? But his buddy in the other passenger, in the other seat, the front seat, is laughing. He thinks it's hilarious. And he keeps putting the sandwiches and the bread up by his buddy's face. So the camel will bury his face in the dude's face while he's trying to eat the sub sandwich or lick the bread. And he's accidentally like breathing and licking the other dude. And this dude, he's screaming like a lady. Like he is not into it at all. And it just, you know what it looked like? Big brother, little brother dynamic. Like the one dude was so terrified and scared he couldn't do anything. And the big brother was just like laughing at him and doing a bunch of shit and fucking making him feel awful. And it is so painful to fucking watch, man. And I guess it's supposed to be funny because it went viral and everybody's like, ha ha, homeboy didn't want any of that camel. Ha ha ha. Yeah, well then don't go to fucking Camel Town. And then also, tell your fucking friend to hide his goddamn hero sandwich when the fucking camel comes around. And also, then don't hang it around my neck like a fucking disc man. Jesus fuck. And I don't understand the tormenting. It's just, it made me uncomfortable to watch. I was like, you fucking dick. And look, do I blame the one dude for going to Camel Town anyway? Yes. Because you know your friend's a jagoff. And you stopped at Subway and he bought like 10 sandwiches. Like, what the fuck do you need 10 sandwiches for? And he's like, I'm very hungry in the desert. And then you pull out there, he stops the fucking car and then he's like, get over here, camels. And then, because, look, if there's one thing we all know, we learned it in school, you learned it again in college, and you've seen it in any number of entertainment productions over the years. Camels love Italian subs. Can't be argued. Camels love a salami. They love a pepperoncini. They love an oil and vinegar blend. They love a little blast of salt and the pepper. They love a provolone. They love it all. A camel, and look, I got to be a camel will even eat a Taylor ham. Camels love sandwiches. I don't want to narrow it down to Italian subs. No, actually, I do. I go the other way. Take it back. Camels are choosy, and choosy camels choose Jif. But not this time. They get an Italian sub. So this dude's holding up the fucking sandwiches in front of his buddy's face, and his buddy's screaming like a woman. And I'm like, what is happening here, man? And then again in the comments, everybody's like, oh, so funny. This is hilarious. Oh, I love it so much. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. You should be brought out of that car in the desert, stripped naked, and staked to the ground with scorpions placed on your stomach to see and let them do whatever they fucking want. That's what I would do. I would literally put, if I was that guy's friend, I'd knock him out with a blackjack. I'd grab one of the Italian subs, I'd hit him with it because it was a big one. It was a big one. Knock him over the head. And I'd go, you think camels are funny, huh? And then I would take him, drag him out, and I would strip off his dashiki, and I would put him I would stake him to the ground naked, and then I would put an Italian sub on his face so the camels come. Actually, you know what? I would do this. I would put it under his chin, so he's holding it tight to his chest with his chin. And then I would put 4 scorpions on his stomach, 2 facing his nuts and 2 facing his face, and they could decide what they wanted to do. Do they want to sting him? They want to hang out? They want to run either way? Or they want to all gang up on the balls? Whatever the fuck. I wouldn't care. Don't fucking laugh at a camel licking me because you're putting a sandwich on my face. And don't film the fucking thing and put it on the goddamn internet. Because, for the rest of the year, that guy is just, lady screaming Abdul. Nobody wants that. That's fucking terrible. Everybody's mad at fucking Lady Screaming Abdul. That's what that guy gets labeled as by his crew. I know an Ahmad. He would make fun of that guy incessantly, forever, if that guy was in his crew. If that dude's in your crew, he's just forever. He's Lady Screaming Abdul. That's it. So he has to take his buddy out. There's only one way to do it. You got to take him out. You got to stake him to the fucking ground and go with the 4 scorpions on the belly and the sub under the neck. So if the scorps don't get him, the camels will show up. Take that, you fucking viral motherfucker, and I'm going to film you. It's going to be like Leslie Nielsen and fucking Ted Danson and Creepshow. I'm going to put a TV and a camera out here. I'll come back and get it in 3 days. It's going to be glorious to see what the scorpions did to your balls. I can't wait to see what the scorpions do to your balls, sir. You see this stuff, but again, I don't know what's real on the fucking internet. This shit goes virally like whatever. There was a fucking dude. So again, this dude made made his uncle into a guitar. Like his real bones. Like he got And I look, was I curious? Yes. Did I read it? No, because this is not anything I need to know. I'm already fucking wayward and lost. Every second I talk is a second closer to death. I don't need to know all this dumb shit anymore. But and look, do I still look at it occasionally? Yes, but I'm trying to be better about it. I'll see something like that and I'll grit my teeth and go, you just don't need to read this, buddy. Just fucking move on. But the picture was enough. And the headline was this dude. He turned his uncle, I don't know if his uncle loved metal, and so he turned his uncle into a fucking, it looks like fucking Mr. Scary, one of Dawkins' guitars, George Lynch. I mean, it's just fucking bananas. It's a human skeleton guitar. And supposedly it's his uncle. And it's a tribute to his uncle. And I'm just like, dude, I can't imagine his uncle, who probably died of cancer or some shit, just laying in his bed, and he looked at his nephew and he said, "Nephew, you got to promise me something." "Yes, uncle." When I die, yes, please make sure they boil my corpse." "What?" "Yes, make sure they boil my corpse so the meat comes off easier." "Ooh, uncle, this is getting really..." "No, you must listen to me, boy." "You must listen to me, boy. Boil my corpse until my bones are bleached white." Okay. And what, you want a mausoleum?" "No, of course not. Why? What's the point of stripping the flesh off if you're not going to keep the bones?" "I'm sorry, who's keeping the bones now?" You, son, you're keeping the bones." Man, uncle, this just doesn't seem like a plan that you've thought out. Are you sure this isn't the medicine talking?" "No, of course not. I'm telling you right now, I wrote it up already on a sheet of paper. Here's the instructions. You boil my bones till the flesh falls off clean and they're bleached white." "Okay. And then you get the bones." I don't think I want your bones, uncle. "But listen to me. I love heavy metal music." "Yes, I'm aware of that. Certainly it's something you've made me quite privy to over the years, and you introduced me to several bands." "Yes, I did, and I know you love them too." "Well, times change. I wouldn't say I'm a metalhead." "I don't care what you say, boy. You love metal as much as I do, and that's why you want to boil my corpse, strip off the flesh, get rid of the organs, take the bones bleached white, and build them into a guitar you can play yourself." "I'm sorry?" "You heard me, son. You want to go ahead and make sure that you can play me for the rest of all eternity. You must sing Stairway and all sorts of Pantera songs, plunking the strings that you string between my delicate ribs, using my femur as the neck. And I tell you what, I will not feel comfortable in the afterlife unless I know there's a humbucker placed where my dick used to be, son." Oh, man. So this kid did it. He fucking did it. I don't know how that speech works. I don't know who you tell to boil your uncle and strip the flesh clean, whatever the fuck, and give him you the... It just doesn't seem sanitary, right? I mean, it's like if you just... That's like the ultimate lazy. Like if you just killed a mouse in your house and then you let it sit there until it was bones and then you swept it up because you didn't want to throw it out or bury it or whatever the fuck. Who wants to be turned into a guitar? And again, like I said, the uncle likes heavy metal music. The kid might be like, actually, I'm more of a country guy. But I don't know if walking out at the Grand Ole Opry with your skeleton slung over my shoulders to play some tunes is a great idea. I don't care. Boil my bones, son. Boil my bones. It's good just to drink some water. It's good to talk to you people. It's good just to do anything. I was worried I wouldn't have anything in the tank. I was going to apologize in the beginning of the show and tell you that look, I don't want to say this is great. It's funny. Certainly. I'm a funny guy. You can't argue with that, right? Can you? What if you did? What if you wanted to? What if you called me right now? What if somehow you heard by osmosis I was proclaiming myself a funny guy in the goddamn show and you called up to cut my confidence off directly in the middle of a record? Why, I would hate you. I would not be thrilled with you at all. I've had a bit of a, well, look, first of all, I left the house. I'll tell you this. I left the house. And not just, how sometimes I told you I leave the house for maybe like 10 days and I go get food. I'll go to the store and buy a bunch of stuff. But I don't usually, I don't buy anything to cook. I'm not going to lie to you folks. I mean, I buy cans of soup and I've reverted back to my childhood. You know what I've rediscovered? This is a bad thing for a fat dude. Here's something I've rediscovered. Do you know, like instant rice side dishes? You know what that is? Like it used to be, Lipton used to have this mushroom rice that I would eat all the time, and I fucking loved it. It was so savory. But now there's this place called Knorr's, I think, that has taken it over. And so they had like 2 for $1, I think, or no, 2 for $2 packets of rice. So I bought 2 Mexican, 2 Spanish, 2 chicken fried rice, 2 cheesy broccoli rice. And I just bought them and brought them home. And then, again, it's that thing where you boil water. You boil water, butter in the packet, and then you boil it, and then you simmer it for 7 to 10 minutes, and then it's done. And then it's just a pile of fucking sodium. And oh my God, does it remind me of childhood? I mean, I'll make that, and I'll make like some fucking frozen fish fillets, like some beer battered ones or whatever the fuck from the Gorton's Fisherman, from Gorton's of Gloucester. Throw those in, I get them super crispy, and then I'll put them on top of the rice. Sometimes chop them up into the goddamn rice, depending on the flavor. Oh my God, dudes. I have reverted to eating like a fucking child. I've reverted back to eating all the stuff from like I told you, macaroni and cheese, all that nonsense. But that's only if I make stuff in my house. Normally I'll go out and get food. And that's something I wanted to ask you guys about. I'll get to that in a second. But I leave the house this week. And I went to get my car done. Like I haven't done my car in a year. I went to get the oil change. So I went to get my oil change, and I was going to go, and there was like a taco place down there I wanted to try, and I needed to go get a haircut. Like I went, I know this sounds ridiculous. I needed to run errands, and I needed to drive, 20 miles away from my house to do stuff, which I haven't done. I've only done it, once or twice during this pandemic. Yeah. One time I went, there was stuff left at my house, and I had to drive it to somebody's house and drop it off. And then there was a time I went to get a hamburger in the middle, and that was like fucking 30 miles away. But so I was like, fuck it, just go out. I just did it because my hair chick has been off for fucking the woman who cuts my hair. She's been off for like 3 weeks, and she texted me before she split, because the last time I got my hair cut, I said to her, listen, I don't know if they're going to shut you guys down. She's like, oh no, they're closing us down tomorrow. So you did a good thing in getting in here. I said, oh good. I kind of thought they were, because this is when the pandemic was surging in fucking November or December, I forget. And so I said to her, well, look, if you wind up cutting hair on your own when they don't open the shop, let me know. Here's my number, and I might be interested in that. She goes, okay, cool. So she texted me, I think it was the beginning of it was like the third week of January. She's like, hey, just letting you know that I'm going out of town. If you want to go ahead and get a haircut, you should make an appointment. I said, you know what? I am not ready right now, because it was Super Bowl. No, it wasn't. It was 2 weeks before Super Bowl. I said, no, I'm not ready right now. I said, but when you come back to town, let me know. I'll be first in line. She said, great. So she was out of town for like 3 weeks. And then I was like, all right, cool. And, then she came back, and it was just so happened I texted her. I said, hey, you around? She's like, yeah, I just got back into town. I said, great, I'll come. I'd like to come tomorrow morning. And then I set up the car appointment. And like I said, when I was at the car appointment, this will sound so dumb. Because I was leaving my house and I was going to be in a different area of the city, I wanted to find a place in that area to eat at that I've been waiting to try. Because normally, when it was the normal world in the before times, I would just fucking go to places. I'd run and get some tacos from somewhere if I heard about a good pizza somewhere, whatever. And I didn't do it a lot because I wasn't a fucking animal. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's down on the west side, this place, and so in close, near the beach, somewhat. So I was like, all right, well, I'll try to see if there's a place. And there was a taco joint that I followed on Instagram to remember to go try it when I was in that area. So I went there. I was going to go there for lunch. So I went to get my hair cut. And this was Friday? Yeah, Friday of last week. And I go, and again, they take your temperature at the door. I've told you this whole drill. You got to wear a mask outside. They take your temperature. There's only 3 people allowed in the store at the same time. 3 customers, I should say. And then the woman who cuts my hair comes to get me, and she's like, hi. I'm like, how you doing? Good. I sit down. She goes, how's it going? I said, everything's the same. You're just hiding and, hoping this blows over. I asked her about the vaccine. She said her mom was about to get it. I said, great. Just a little chit chat and talking. And you have to wear a mask when you're getting your hair cut. And the way my hair is, it's buzzed on the sides and in the back. So I have to take the mask. I still have to hold it over my mouth, but I unhook it from my ear so she can do either side of my head. So I unhook the mask, and she starts buzzing the side, and I said, when did you get back into town? She goes, I just got back into town like 2 days ago, earlier this week. I said, oh, that's great. I go, where did you go? She goes, you know what? We went out of town. We were gone for 3 weeks. It was so great. I said, really? She goes, yeah. You know, we went to visit my in-laws in Florida. And I went, oh? She goes, oh. She goes, yeah, we were there 3 weeks. It was just so good for my son, you know, and we haven't been out for so long. It was so great to go down there. And, you know, it's really a different world down there. We went to Universal Studios and I literally felt my stomach tighten up because now I'm holding my mask over my face on one side. It's hooked over my left ear, but I'm holding it on the right side. And she's got, you know, some thin fucking mask that they give her to change every time she cuts somebody's hair because the fucking hair salon's not going to splurge for N95 fucking masks. And she starts saying, oh yeah, I went to Universal Studios. We actually went a couple of times. And I went, oh, wow. So was it crowded? She goes, well, no, it wasn't crowded. You know, it looked crowded because they had everybody distanced in the line. So there weren't a lot of people there. I didn't think. It didn't seem like it. But when you waited in line for a ride, you had to be 6 feet away. So it made the lines look longer than they were. I said, oh, and everybody was wearing masks. She goes, yeah, they kept everybody socially distanced. You know, it was great that you had to be in the line separated. I said, yeah, but was everybody wearing masks at the park? She goes, well, it's Florida. So everybody was working on the social distancing. And like I don't know if she realized as she was telling me that she probably shouldn't share the information with me that she just got back into town and people weren't wearing masks in Florida. I don't know. And again, I'm jumping to conclusions. I like her. She's cut my hair for a couple of years. She's very nice. But then she's like, oh yeah, they were all socially distanced. You couldn't get too close to anybody. And I said, oh, but were the masks down there? She goes, you know, I will say this. It was really a relief to be down there. I said, oh yeah? She said, yeah, because, oh my gosh, they don't talk about it all the time. I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, no, like at the park, it wasn't like a big deal where nobody was like talking about it or saying you had to do this or you had to do that. She goes, and also it's not on the news at all. Like they barely talked about it. It was so great to not have to think about it for 3 weeks. And in my head, I'm like, oh man, this is awful. I've literally hidden in my house for a year. And because I needed to get a fucking haircut and she needed to ride the fucking teacups, I'm going to get the fucking vid. I can't believe it. And I'm listening to her. And again, like I said, I like her very much, but she wasn't comforting me or making me feel happy about what she had done. And you know, and I didn't investigate further on when she got back to town. She might have gotten back a week before and quarantined. I don't know, but she said just a couple of days prior, which that doesn't sound like 14 days to me. And if she was out of town for 3 weeks, that doesn't make sense. And I'm sitting there holding my mask and I hook it over my ear. And then she's just like, yeah, they never talked about it. It was so great to not have to hear it on the news all the time. You know, here, that's all anybody wants to talk about. It's all you hear about constantly on the news and it's crazy on the radio. But out there, she goes, yeah, they really don't even talk about it. And I'm like, yeah, that's why everybody's dying there. That's why they're not. Like, I know someone's going to argue with me and go, well, confidentially, the statistics are, yes, I get it. Okay. I told you, I'm not scared. I'm trying to be safe because I don't want to fucking hurt anybody else. I obviously don't want to get it because I don't have insurance. I'm not terrified. I'm not a fucking hermit. I know I want to go do things just as badly as everybody else fucking does, but I'm understanding science and trying to do the best I can to make this a good world. I know that sounds stupid, but that's what I'm trying to do. And would I love to get on a fucking plane and go down to Universal Studios or go visit my mom in Florida or any of those things? I would. But, you know, there's a reason Florida doesn't talk about it because they don't release their fucking numbers either. Whatever. So she's cutting my hair. And now that's all I can think about. Now that's all I can fucking think about. And they take every precaution. They're like, they don't even, dude, when she put the fucking product in my hair, they can't even put their fingers in the product anymore. They have to scoop it out with like one of those little wooden spoons you used to taste ice cream with. And it's a way to make sure that not everybody's digging all their fucking fingers in the same jars and stuff. I mean, they were very safe at the hair salon, but hearing that she'd been out of town and went to Universal Studios, she said, yeah, we went twice. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And yeah, you know, they were socially distanced. Well, they wear the masks. Well, everybody was socially distanced, you know, and it's great because they never talk about it. Oh, you never have to hear about the COVID on the news or the radio. Out here, it's all everybody wants to talk about. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. So I leave there, and then I did that because I scheduled this for 1 day, by the way. I can't, look, I'm not fucking Rockefeller. I can't be going out 3 goddamn days a week. So I scheduled my oil change, and I told him, I go, look, man, I haven't been in a year. Just go from fucking toes to nose, from headlights to fucking taillights, and see what you got to replace and fix. And I go, but I haven't been driving at all. I go, I might have driven 3,000 miles this year, maybe 4. I don't fucking know. So I went down and I saw there's a couple of dudes that I trust at my garage. Because look, there's garages everywhere. But these dudes, like I said, they're on the west side, and it's about 15 miles from my house. Which people are like, why don't you find a garage closer to your house? Well, you find guys you trust and you stay with them. So, Australian Dave, Dave, crikey. Hello, Mike. How's your car? So I make an appointment with Dave and Greg. That's the two guys who work there. I called Greg. I got him on the phone. I said I'd come in Friday. So I popped in and it was Greg was there. And I said, yeah, just do this, do that. And I got a mask on and he's got a mask on. All the workers got masks on. They got signs. The fucking stand here, don't go here. Plexiglass is up, because again, like I said, I'm not out in the world much. So to go to places that you used to go to and see the way they've been affected and see the changes that they've gone through is really stark. I mean, it really lands on you, man. And also when you drive through LA and you see places boarded up, like places that were bars or restaurants and they're shut down, or they got a real estate sign in the fucking window with boards on the fucking, on the doors. Man, that's crazy. It looks like a video game town sometimes. You go down a block and there's like 6 fucking businesses closed. You're like, what the fuck, man? But it's brutal. It's just crazy. So I sat there and, Greg went and did he did the car, he did all the fucking oil, all that stuff. And he comes out to talk to me and he goes, hey, your brakes, probably in like 2 more visits. He said your rear brakes, but also he goes, you probably need 2 tires. I go, well, what are the brakes like now? And he goes, well, the brakes are fine now. He goes, but you're getting close. So I'm just giving you an update. I said, cool. I said, well, 2 tires? He goes, yeah. I go, all right, we'll put them on. He goes, well, I can't do it. I don't have the tires here. I went, He goes, yeah, you got to call me a couple days so I can get them in stock. And that's that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because fuck this, man. I waited a year to get my car done, and now you're telling me you can't do it. You can't get it all done. That fucking blows. Not his fault, but it's good because it means, you know what it means? I got to get out of my house again. And this is a dude talking who loves the idea of getting out of his house, but at the same time can't fucking get out of his house. You know this. We know the drill. We've talked about it for a fucking year now. But I was still bummed. I have to admit, like I wanted the tires just to fucking get it nailed down. I'm like, all right, whatever the fuck. So I went in to pay and I had to admit it was weird not having Dave there to talk to me. But sometimes he takes the afternoon off and I said to Greg, I said, hey, is Dave still with you? And he said, no, he moved in March. And I mean, I had been in there in February to get my car done, and he never said anything, not like we were fucking tight, but he moved in March because he I think it was one of those deals where he owned property somewhere else and had always talked about making the move, and then when germs and every other fucking thing rained down from the sky, he decided that it was time to go and did. And I missed him because, you know what, I will tell you this, Greg is very cool, and he runs the shop, and he's a businessman, but also he's jovial. But Dave was a guy. You'd tell dirty jokes to, or you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like just you could exchange a glance with him, and you both knew what you were thinking. That kind of thing. He had a streak of a meathead in him. Typical Aussie, I guess. But I liked him because I liked talking to him and stuff, and it was disappointing that he wasn't there. And now I get to go back and look, I don't want to leave the house ever again, but I do want to leave the house every moment. You know what I mean? So I got my hair cut, I got the car done, went and got tacos, and got that squared away from a joint called El Taco Barrio, I think it was. And they had like, you know what elotes is, with corn and mayonnaise and butter and stuff like that? They made it with cauliflower. So I had some roasted cauliflower elotes. I had a shrimp taco. I had a carne asada taco. I had a carnitas taco. I had a fucking birria taco, which tore me apart. And by the way, I didn't eat them all at the same fucking time. I ate them later. I ate 2 because I ate a chorizo taco and I bought 6 tacos because I'm a monster. But I ate the chorizo taco in the car, and then I ate the birria taco in the car. And then I took home, I bought 5 tacos and then the elotes, and I brought them home. I ate the other 3 later that night because I couldn't have eaten. They were pretty good sized fucking tacos. LA doesn't fuck around, man. But it was good. It was good to be out and do a thing. I was happy to do it. Left the house. I enjoyed it. I want to do more leaving of the house. And yet, I know I shouldn't be leaving the house just yet, but who knows? So that was Friday. I had a full day, came home, I streamed. Saturday I watched fights. Sunday I Zoomed poker with my friends. And I won the first game, which was great. And then the second game we played. And look, it's certainly you want to win occasionally because you don't want to be fucking shelling out dough all the goddamn time. And I had a pretty good run. I moneyed like 8 out of 9 weeks through November, December, and January. Which was fantastic. But then I've lost the last 3 weeks in a row until this weekend when I actually won, which was good. And then the second game I lost. Oh, I should tell you this. Oh man, I was running so late on Sunday because we play at 8 and you got to register by 8. But I was like, well, I'll run out and get some food because I haven't been to the store. Even though I went out Friday, I went out and got food. And that's the thing. I don't even, this is what I wanted to ask you guys. All right, I'll just ask you guys this. Do I need an air fryer? Let me know if I need an air fryer because everybody tells me I should get an air fryer. It's the thing to do. And they're like, oh yeah, you get an air fryer and you'll use it and you'll cook so much more. And I'm like, really? Because I'll tell you what, I fucking bamboozled myself with that bullshit before. I'm like, oh yeah, no, if I get this, I'll definitely use it. This will be great. And I mean, I am a dude, my main kitchen utensil is a fork and a phone. That's it. I call somebody, they make me food, I go pick it up, I eat it with the fork when I get home. And I wish I was a chef or a cooking dude. I do like it when I actually make myself do it. But because look, here's what I have. Dudes, all right, look, I go out to eat. I get food 5 times a week from places. Or no, 4 times a week. And then the other 3 days I'm eating the leftovers because I buy enough to cover it because I know I don't want to fucking run out again. Or I'm eating that knockoff rice that I just told you about, for fuck's sake. But dude, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I bought, it's been that year. You know what? It's so funny. It might've been 2 years ago because the pandemic is fucking eating up so much time out. That's just a year wasted. But I bought a 20-piece set of pots and pans. Lids, pots, fucking frying pans, skillets, all that shit. I bought spices. I bought like a whole bunch of fucking spices from a joint called Spice House because I loved the name Spice House. I have a toaster oven. I got a Vitamix. I got an Instant Pot. I got a crock pot. I got a fucking cast iron skillet. I have an egg cooker. I got a rice cooker. I got a fucking wok. Dude, I have a wok that's fully seasoned. Now, I don't know if it still works or whatever the fuck. I guess if you put fire on it, it'll work. But I mean, my ex-wife used to cook with the wok all the goddamn time. So I have a wok. I have a huge fucking Dutch oven soup pot. And I don't make a fucking thing. Everything I cook, I heat up on a cookie sheet that I bought, a year ago, for fuck's sake. And it's fucking frozen fish fillets or frozen ravioli or fucking rice in a bag. I'll make rice in the rice cooker and put chili crisp on it. And then I go get food from everywhere else. So I need to, look, we've talked about it a billion times. I got to cook for myself. We all know this, but everybody tells me I got to get a rice cooker or an air fryer. So I'm asking you right now, do I get an air fryer? And I know it's going to be one of those things. Well, Mike, if you plan on using the air fryer, then it's a good thing to get. Yes, I know. Don't fucking shame me with your answers. That's all I need. Oh, if you use some of those 20 pieces of pots and pans, yes, I get it. Well, you got a Vitamix there, right? Yes, I used the Vitamix. When I was working out, I was making protein shakes in it all the time. It was fucking great. But the weirdest thing is they're like, hey, you can make like fucking hot soup in the Vitamix. I'm like, how? And it goes, it's so fucking intense. It heats it up and it like fries the fuck out of the vegetables or whatever. And I'm like, Jesus, that sounds fucking haunted. And also, I just don't have, my kitchen's not giant, and so I find excuses not to do stuff. I want to get a new cutting board. I am an idiot. And so I ask you, I put it to you, Greg, should I get an air fryer to go with my Vitamix and my Instant Pot and my toaster and my toaster oven and my crock pot and my wok and my egg cooker and my rice cooker and my cast iron skillet and my spices and my pile of fucking pots and pans and my old pots and pans and whatever the fuck else. Because that's what I want to do. Because Sunday, I was going to play poker, And I was hungry, and I'm like, well, it was too late to cook anything. Not that I would have cooked anything anyway. But so I went out to get food, and I was going to go just to Popeye's Chicken because it's literally quarter-mile from my house. So I was going to get 5 the Cajun chicken tenders, blackened chicken tenders, and then just eat them with rice when I got home. I was just going to make rice and just eat those really quick while I played poker. That's because I wanted meat. I wanted protein. I'm like, all right, I need food. And then I left my house at 7:40 and I realized I didn't register for the game. And if you register late, you can't fucking play. So I was like, oh fuck, I got to hustle back. So I was fine. Popeyes is close. I pull up. There's fucking 12 cars in the drive-thru wrapped around the fucking building. What are you doing? Go home and cook. Who are you, me? So I'm like, fuck. So I drive past and I go, all right, well, there's another chicken place that I love, but this is always a fucking coin flip because it's called Dave's Hot Chicken. It's about 1.5 miles from my house. And the only issue is the parking outside is a drag. And also they're always super busy because it's that hot chicken. So it's Nashville fried hot chicken, whatever the fuck. And Nashville fried chicken hot. I don't know. Where would those adjectives go? It's Nashville hot fried chicken, right? Not fried hot chicken. Nashville hot fried chicken. There you go. Whatever the fuck. So, and it's a really good place. They make really good crinkle fries and whatever. But like I said, the parking is an issue, but also they're always super busy because they get all these orders from fucking Postmates and Grubhub and all those idiots. So I'm like, well, if there's no line or if there's a couple people, I'll stop. I turn the corner. There's got to be 25 people outside the fucking joint. And I'm like, God damn it. So now it's like 7:45 and I'm like, all right, maybe I'll go to McDonald's because McDonald's up the street and that's pretty quick and I can go ahead and do that. And I started driving up and I'm like, oh man, I'm never going to make McDonald's. What if I get to the drive-thru and it's totally busy? Because now it's like 7:48 and I got to get home. It's going to be at least probably 6 minutes to get home. So I'm by my gym and I remember across the street from my gym, there's a fucking Jersey Mike's. So I was like, this is the jam. I haven't been to Jersey Mike's in a fucking year. So I pull in, there's nobody in the parking lot. And it's, like I said, it's about 7:45 now. And it's Sunday night, and I walk up, and there's a dude sitting outside without a mask on, and I wanted to fucking put his head through the fucking window because why not? He's not eating. I know we're open for outdoor dining and shit like that, but he's just sitting there on his fucking phone. I'm like, you jag-off, put a fucking mask on. I didn't say it because I'm not going to jam, and I was late for poker. So I walk in to fucking Jersey Mike's, and I haven't been in there, like I said, for a year. Usually the place is fucking flying. There's like 10 dudes behind the counter. They're dancing, fucking making subs. There's 2 people working the register, and there's usually a line of like 10, 12 people. But I pull up and it's empty. It's a ghost town. Now look, it is so, here's how empty it is. They have the lights in the dining area off, but the lights in the kitchen are on. So it's like I walked into a haunted house to order food. Like and one dude is leaning against the wall with like his hands thrust into his pockets. Another guy's like slicing ham forlornly. And I walk up, they go, hey sir, did you already order? And I said, I didn't. They go, oh. And then one guy's like, oh, what can I get you? And then a woman comes out and I tell her, I wanted a club sub, regular size. I was going to get the giant, but then I'm like, what am I, a camel? I can't eat a giant fucking sub. So I ordered a regular size club sub, which has got ham and turkey and then they're going to build it for me. Now they slide it down the line and they pull bread off the shelf. Like they didn't cut it open. It was already cut and sitting there. And look, this is my rule. Like I don't eat at places that aren't busy. I just don't. It's because the danger is exponential when you go into a place that isn't busy because who the fuck knows? But I was in a hurry. I ordered a regular sub. They fished this bread off a shelf. I said, I want to add avocado to it. She said, sure. Do you want mayo? And they didn't have a cold table rolling. They had all their condiments kind of up on a tray. And they put the mayo on the sandwich. I get extra lettuce. I get extra tomatoes. I get extra onions, extra salt and pepper, extra Italian spices, no fucking sandwich juice. Wrap it up. I pay for it. Use my fucking Jersey Shore points that I haven't used in a goddamn year. Give them a tip. They ring a bell. It's fine. They're all nice. But again, there's nobody in this fucking joint, man. It is. I asked for extra lettuce. A tumbleweed blew by. She grabbed it and I had to tell her it wasn't lettuce. I'm like, nope, sorry. I'm sorry. It's the green stuff. Not that thing that just whistled through town. So she builds my sandwich. I fucking grab it and I'm running late. Like I said, so I hustle outside, fucking floor it. And I make it. I wind up talking to Beej on the phone while I'm driving. I tell her I'm excited. I got my Jersey sub. And I actually thought it was Jimmy John's first. I'm so dumb. Like, people are like, where'd you go? I go, Jimmy John's. They're like, where's a Jimmy John's? I'm like, oh, it's Jersey Mike's. I read the paper. So I hustle. I get into my house at 7:59, man. Sign in for poker. Tell Beej goodnight. Fucking wrap into the Zoom with the fellas. Play some poker. Like I said, I won the first game. Ate my sub during the first game. During the second game, sat there, played, had fun. Zoom ends. We finished about 1 a.m. And I check out of the Zoom. I'm like, fellas, see you next week. I should tell you this too. Gil Martin's like, hey man, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, I'm around. And he goes, well, you know what? Do you want some meat? I'm like, all right, this is a loaded question. A room full of fucking comedians. And it's he's got a thing going on where he can't eat red meat right now. I don't know if it's dietary, whatever he has going on. And he's like, yeah, but I have stuff. Like, if you want it, you can come pick it up. And Paul lives a mile and a half from me too. He actually lives in Dave's Hot Chicken, which is weird. That's why he's got to get rid of the red meat, because the hot chicken people are like, you know what, motherfucker? It's not Dave's Hot Red Meat. It's Dave's Hot Chicken. What do you think you're doing storing that in here? So I told him, I go, yeah, just let me know when you're around tomorrow. I'll fucking show up. So he's like, yeah, I got a big piece of meat in the freezer that I don't need. And I'm like, you're making me nervous with this meat. Like, what is this meat? He goes, it's red meat. I don't know. I can't eat it. I said, all right, I'll pick it up. So we play poker. I sign off the Zoom. It's about 1 a.m, which means I'll go to bed in about 4 hours from that point, because I'm fucking ridiculous. And it is this quick. All right. It is this instantaneous. I sign off the Zoom. Now, I've been on the Zoom for 4 or 5 hours, and I ate my sub at like 8:30, and I ate it till like 9:15, however long it takes to eat a fucking sub sandwich if you're not a goddamn camel. And I sign out of the Zoom. I take my computer off of the holder it sits on when I'm Zooming, and my mouth starts to flood with spit. And I felt a twinge in my stomach. And I swallowed hard, and I was like, all right, well, that's weird. I don't know what triggered that or what brought that on, but that's odd, because, usually what that signals. I mean, I've had it happen many, many times in my life, but so like I said, I swallowed hard, and I sat there, and I started to kind of figure out what I was going to do, and I went to get a glass of ice water, and then my mouth started watering intensely, like a lot, where I had to spit it in the sink. And then I went, all right. And my stomach got weird. It started to do a little flip. And I out loud, I'm going to fucking throw up. Like, this is weird. Why am I going to throw up? So I went into the restroom and assumed the position. And I just kept spitting, because, your mouth is filling and you're spitting. Your mouth is watering intensely. You're spitting. I'm just doing that. But I knew, and I'm waiting. And my stomach does this like weird gurgle. It kind of, again, does another flip. And I've got my hands on my knees at this point, and I'm just staring into the abyss of the bowl going, all right, it's going to be awful. And then sure enough, man, we talk a lot about vomit on this show, far too often for me to be comfortable with it at this point, and I apologize to all of you, but it came out like a fire hose. Like I said, it was just like blammo, man. I'm filling ditches. It just comes shooting out of me like I was at a pie eating contest in a Stephen King novella adaptation. I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm fine. Again, I'm in there, and I'm not out of control. It's not going anywhere, but it's all going where it's supposed to go. And I like kind of, that you're shaking a little bit, you breathe. And my years of food addiction and bulimia has led me to go ahead. I can process this well. I don't get scared. Your eyes tear up a little bit, but it just happens. You know what I mean? I'm so used to throwing up at this point. It's fine. Let's put it this way. I'm so used to throwing up at this point that when it's not me doing it, it's a shock. So it was a shock, I have to admit, but I didn't expect it, but it was fine. I wrote it out. And then you're just standing there and you're like, oh man. And it's just the aftermath, that your stomach is weird. And your neck feels strange, your throat. And all of a sudden, my face felt super flush, like I was blushing all of a sudden. And I'm like, what is going on? So I stood up, I turned the cold water on and I threw some cold water in my face. I ran it through my hair. I put it in my mouth to rinse my fucking mouth. I brushed my teeth out and spit it out. And then I've got my hands on the sink and my mouth starts to water again. And I'm like, oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So I'm waiting by the sink. And then just in case I lean over and sure enough, man, a second blast. Just like the chest ray from Iron Man's fucking suit just blasts out and unloads. And the noise, I'll spare you, but that noise where it sounds like somebody dumping a chum bucket over fucking board to try to attract a shark. It's hitting the water and it's just brutal. And I'm standing there and I've already brushed my teeth. So at least it's pleasant, but at the same time, man, I'm now, my face is flush where there's a lot of blood that rushes to my face and I've thrown up a second time and I'm standing there and I take stock and I wait and I'm like, all right, this is strange. Cause I also didn't think I had that much in me, but I threw more water in my face and then sat there and I brushed my teeth again. And then I walked out and I sat on the couch and out of nowhere, dudes, this all took place in a half an hour. I fucking projectile launched twice. My face was super flush. My stomach felt awful. And then I had this kind of a throbbing headache at the base of my skull. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I knew I felt hot. I took my temperature and it was like 100.4. So I had a fucking fever. So now I got a fever. My back hurts. I got body aches. And now I'm thinking to myself, holy fuck. Can you get COVID? Does it fucking manifest itself in 2 days? Because again, Friday, I leave the house once. I leave the fucking house once. I get a stupid haircut. I get a stupid oil change. I go get fucking tacos for no good reason. And now I'm laid up. Now I'm fucking wiped out. Did I get the fucking vid from Florida Jane and her excursion? Did I get it from Greg and his dealing with customers over the past fucking year? Did I get it from Taco House? I don't know. So I'm laying there and my fucking face is throbbing and I'm hot. And now chills. I get chills and a fever. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. This is awful. And body aches, chills, fever, headache. And I'm like, all right. So now I grab my phone. And now I'm starting to look to see if COVID can manifest itself in a day, if you can see it real quick. And I'm looking for this. And of course, nobody really knows anything anymore. There's conflicting information about it might happen, it might not happen, it could, it doesn't, it should. But body aches are a big deal. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, all right, what the fuck is going on? And I'm just sprawled out on my fucking couch and I'm under a blanket. And I got 2 pillows covering me as well. And I'm fucking shaking with the chills. Like these are violent chills. My teeth are chattering in addition to having a fucking fever. And I tossed and turned on Monday. I couldn't get to sleep. I'm like, just go to bed, dude. Just fucking go to bed. But I didn't even want to get off the couch. So I slept on the fucking couch Sunday night. And by slept, I mean, I woke up every 15 minutes, and I was sweating, but also chills and it was brutal. And I didn't know if it was the vid. And then, the next morning, Monday, like I woke up and I still felt awful. And then I slept the whole fucking day and I was going to stream, but then I didn't. And I tried to eat some soup and rice and I fucking threw that up on Monday. And then it dawns on me, I'm like, man, do I have the fucking vid? But then I realized, the chills, the fever, the throwing up violently 4 or 5 times over the course of 2 days, I had food poisoning. I've had food poisoning enough in my life to know that it was food poisoning. And now I'm thinking, well, fuck, I ate tacos on Friday, but it couldn't be that. What did I eat? I didn't eat anything on Sunday. Oh my fucking God. I ate a sub sandwich from a ghost town. What the fuck? I violated my own rule that if a place isn't busy and it's near closing time, you don't eat there. Because I was in such a goddamn hurry to get home and sign in for poker. And I like sub sandwiches. I'm a fan. Again, I'm half camel. But Jesus Christ, I realized then this is Jersey Mike's fucking fault. This isn't my fault. This isn't my hair girl's fault. This isn't Greg's fault or the taco place. This isn't me leaving the house. This is a sub sandwich bought in haste so I could get home in time to win one and lose one at poker. Because again, like I said, I've had food poisoning with violent vomiting and the fever and the chills, all of it. I've been in bed for 2 days, and that's what happened this time, man. It shut me down. Fucking Sunday night, shivering, chills, and then out and sleeping for 3 hours, waking up, sleeping for 15 minutes, sweating, pool of fucking sweat, went to bed, just laid under covers, didn't move, got up Monday and then fucking went to sleep again and then felt okay. It was just, I felt empty. You know what I mean? Like Monday, I was better Monday night. The fever went away, which was good, but I had it all night and all day on Monday. But then I felt empty and achy, you know, because you're just throwing up. So your fucking stomach muscles are all fucked up and you're empty, but you're getting the heaves or you're throwing up water. I threw up broth. You know what I mean? Just fucking awful. So it was just this miserable 2 fucking days. And I was wiped the fuck out, man. And then yesterday was Tuesday. And I was just working gingerly. You know what I ate? You know what I ate Wednesday? I ate some Golden Grams with no milk. I just nibbled them like a fucking hamster. You know what I mean? Someone in a cage, some fucking groundhog or something. You're just feeding me, and I'm just like, just nibbling cereal. I streamed yesterday, which was good. I wanted to record this show earlier, obviously, and I didn't. But we're here now on Wednesday for you, and it was Jersey fucking Mike, that son of a bitch. So if you see him, take a poke at him for me. Somebody punch Jersey Mike in the goddamn face for me, because I'm going to stay. And look, I'm not past the fucking vid. Like, I could still get Florida amusement park vid. Who knows? Because now food poisoning may have weakened my immune system enough that the vid, which was lurking in the side of my hair that got shaved, it might have jumped into my ear, and now it's going to climb in and fucking infect me. I got no clue. All I know is I've given it every goddamn option at this point. But the good news is I could leave my house again. Like, because the whole time you're laying there for 2 days, you're like, I'm never going out. I caught it. I got it. And I'm fucking dead. And this is fucking terrible. I'm never leaving my house. But it didn't dawn on me. Like, I thought it might've been food poisoning. But it didn't dawn on me until Monday morning, afternoon, when I was like, this is definitely food poisoning. Because then when I couldn't keep food down again on Monday, it was like, oh, fuck this. So then Tuesday, I was starving yesterday. But I just ate a little bit of cereal. And then I ate another can of soup, but I mainly ate, because I have this Italian wedding soup from Progresso, and it's got the little meatballs, and I'm like, do I want to risk this? But I just ate around the meatballs. I ate the noodles, and I ate the broth, and I ate the vegetables, and I'm fine now. Just sour. You know how it is, man, and just empty and weak. You feel weak, you know. And also, Beej was nice. She's like, you should go get some Gatorade, and there's this stuff called Drip Drop or whatever. I'm like, I'm not, dude, believe me, I'm not putting something called Drip Drop in my body, because that's all I've been doing for 2 days is drip dropping all over the goddamn bathroom. That's not happening. But I guess it's some rehydration powder or whatever the fuck. And yes, I know you're going to laugh at me. I don't like Gatorade. I don't like the way it tastes, so I liked Propel, but I don't think Propel has electrolytes. But I wasn't going to go to the fucking store because I didn't want to fucking move. And also, there's nothing worse than going out and you're like, all right, I could throw up at any time. It could relaunch. Something bad could happen. You scare yourself into going, no, I got to stay home and fucking lock this down. I can't possibly go out. So I did have a cherry Coke because I thought having some sugar in me would be okay. I know, isn't that weird? You're like, Mike, Gatorade would help. What if I had a Coke instead? Fat negotiator, Mike Schmidt. But I'm good now, thank you. And I do not know why it didn't hit during the game. That's the weirdest thing. I played poker. I felt fine. I ate the fucking sandwich. I played another 3 hours. Everything was great. The second I turned off the Zoom, I felt a little weird, and within 3 minutes, my stomach and then the spit and everything was like so fucking weird. But you can't fucking predict it. Who the fuck knows, man? But I think I'm past it now. I think I'm okay. But boy, oh boy, it has not been a very good time here the last 2.5 days. Monday and Sunday night and all day Monday were bad enough. Yesterday was just recovering. But you still feel weak, and there's nothing. Look, you know me. I don't like feeling weak. I don't like feeling like I'm bitching out. I hate it. Because I'm like, you just always think, well, I'll be fine or whatever. I should be okay. It's no problem. I'm going to go and eat. Watch me fold this pizza in half. You know what I mean? You're trying to prove to yourself that you're healthy. You're not fucking dying. You're not expiring. You're not weak. You're not fucking weak. And it's funny because we've talked for a year about how this germ can shut you the fuck down and how you can't punch a germ. You can't shoot a germ. If it shows up, you're fucked. Well, the same thing with food poisoning, man. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, well, was it like cross-contamination? Like, did they touch something they shouldn't? Or was it, the mayo? Maybe the mayo was like a little fucking off and I should have just got avocado instead of the mayo. Maybe the ham maybe the fucking cooler wasn't, I don't know, dudes. And vegetables, because lettuce will fuck you up too. Maybe I should have let her put the tumbleweed on, because I'll tell you what, lettuce will fuck you up. It kills people. They get E. coli on lettuce and people are fucking slammed shut. So I fought it off. And we're here now, Wednesday morning, or whenever you're fucking listening to this. And again, I apologize. We were, a couple days behind, whatever the fuck, but you're all very kind. And people who wrote me to see if I was okay, you're also very nice. Thank you so much. I did go out on Monday. I will say I had to go Monday, and I was going to go pick up stuff at Walgreens. I'm like, well, maybe I should go get a soda or something. And also, I had told Gil Martin that I would pick up this meat from his house. And he had said to me, like 6 weeks ago, he's like, or even a month ago, maybe, he's like, hey man, I got this meat in my house. Do you want it? I'm like, yeah, man, sure. Just let me know. And I never heard from him. So I just assumed it went somewhere else. So then he asked me again and I said, all right, well, look, you got to text me and let me know when to come over. I'll come by. You just let me know the best time. So then Monday I'm fucking wiped out. You know what I mean? I'm seeing fucking goblins and shit, throwing up, flying in my own sweat. And then I looked at my phone and he called at like 12:30 and he texted me at 1. And I mean, I didn't even get out of bed until 4, I think it was, or 5. And then I wrote him a text and I was like, hey man, I just woke up. I'm going to jump in the shower and I can run over, praying I don't throw up in his fucking house. And I didn't want to tell him. And also, if I had thought I had the vid and I didn't think it was food poisoning, I wouldn't have gone to his house. I'll tell you that right now. But he was like, cool, just text when you're coming over. So I went over to his place, picked up. And then, I thought he had one piece of meat for me. I thought he was going to put it on the porch. So I walk up. There's nothing on the porch. So I knock on the door. I get to meet his unbelievably gorgeous dog, Gracie. Oh, my God. And Gracie was super friendly and jumping on me. And I got to pet her the entire time I was there. But he brings me in his house. Now I'm wearing a mask. And then he puts a mask on. I'm like, well, dude, it's your house. You're fine. And he goes, no. He goes, that makes sense. And then he goes in the freezer and he just gets shopping bags out and he starts putting stuff from his freezer in the shopping bag. He gives me like a fucking Newman's Own Supreme Pizza. And he's just piling stuff from the freezer. He's like, this is Omaha steaks. Boom. This is that. But and I'm like, all right, cool. I go, you don't have to give me all this. He goes, Mike, I can't eat it. It's fine. Take it, Schmitty. So then he goes, do you drink Diet Coke? And I go, I don't. And he goes, you drink Coke? I go, I don't really drink a lot of soda. And he just fucking picks up a 12-pack of Coke and hands it to me. I'm like, God damn it. So he gives me this fucking Coke and the 2 bags. I get home and I go to put it away, because again, I don't even want to see food at this fucking point because I'm all fucking wiped out. And I start to unpack the bag. So I wasn't even looking at what he was giving me. So I was curious, I have to admit, because I get this Omaha Steaks box. And it's a small one, and it's like luxury box or whatever the fuck. So I open it up. You know what's in it? 2 chicken breasts. Wait a minute. What the fuck, Gil Martin? This isn't red meat. How dare you bamboozle me with your giveaway of free protein products? So there's 2 chicken breasts. And then I open the other. There's an Omaha Steaks box. I'm like, all right, then let's check this out. I open it up. There's 4 caramel apple tartlets and 4 potatoes au gratin. I'm like, all right. Well, so far, we are 0 for 10 in the meat department here, friend. Certainly in the red meat department. We're 2 for 10 in the meat department. And then he gives me like a beef tenderloin, organic beef tenderloin grass-fed roast. So I'm like, all right, well, there's red meat. That's real red meat. And then there's there's a couple of other packages. So I pulled them out. One of them is... Look, man, I don't know. I think it's a steak. I got no fucking clue. It's under like 4 different, completely different wrappings of cellophane, but there is still a tag on it. And the thing I can see on the tag is that this is from like March of 2020. I'm like, all right, so you're giving me year-old meat that's encased in a tomb of freezer burn? All right, am I just a garbage can now, Gilly? Is that what's happening to me? But I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. I got the tenderloin roast. I got it caramel apple tartlets. but I was not prepared for the next package. I pulled it out. Hamburgers? I suppose. It looks like that's what they were supposed to be. And I'm trying to make out the print on the tag. And I can't exactly see what kind of meat it is, but I can see this. May of 2018. What the fuck? First of all, why is this in your freezer? Why do you even still have this? I can understand the caramel apple tartlets and that bullshit, whatever the fuck, and a roast. You can't make a roast. You're one guy. But how do you even have a package of hamburgers from 2018? This is not, again, this is no exaggeration. This is meat from the last decade. This is fucking 3-year-old meat that you're pawning off on your garbage-eating friend and hoping he can get rid of it for you. You might as well just say, here, the old Hedberg joke. Here, Schmitty, throw this out for me. Motherfucker. And he didn't even know that I had food poisoning. Now I feel like I got to call him up. Now I figure I got to drop it in his lap. Hey, Paul, thanks, man. I got news for you. Jersey Mike tried to kill me over the weekend and he couldn't get it done. You want to be a man? Do it to my face. Don't just try to smuggle some fucking red meat from 9 years ago into my fucking house and watch me die. Although with my luck, I might. Maybe I give it a shot. You know what? If Jersey Mike couldn't kill me, there's no way Homewood Gilly can. Bring on the gray meat. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old boy. I'm at Instagram and Snapchat and also TikTok at Mike40YOB. Have I done any of them? I haven't. I haven't put up an Instagram since Christmas. I haven't ever done a Snapchat. No, I've done a couple. And TikTok, forget it. but who knows? I have those platforms at the ready. As soon as I can get some color back in my face, maybe I'll go ahead and show you guys. You know what? Look at this guy. He's worth putting on film again. He's not dead, despite the better efforts of all of his goddamn friends. Not that Jersey Mike's a friend. Well, acquaintances, certainly. But certainly he knew me well enough to try to put the fucking kibosh on me. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Mike40YOB. I'm at all of those places. Go find me, follow me, do that cool ass stuff. What else, man? Oh, our friend Ryan Dirks. You can get him at Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. He's doing our web stuff when I call him and tell him what to do, if I ever do. Thanks to KC. I got to get hold of KC too. KC has got some stuff to do if he wants to. And our great friend David Hernandez, you know him, right? You're aware of David Mex Hernandez. Well, you can find him and be his friend at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Reach out and take it. Reach out and touch him. Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. You go ahead and check out all of the stuff on his page. He's done all the artwork for the Westside 86 Jokers page. He's done artwork for my page as well in the past. You can go ahead and check all of it out in his folders, in his photo section. He's got it all parceled, part and parceled along. He's got examples of the work that he's done in the past for other people. What? He does work for other people? He certainly does. I'll tell you about it in just a second. But I'll tell you right now, first thing you got to do is go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and become his friend. And then you'll know what I know about the guy. He's an unbelievably crazy, talented genius. And, he does the music for this podcast. He's done that in the past. He's done the artwork in the past. He's a Renaissance man, as I've dubbed him in the past. A lot of me. Why am I talking about the past? Let's talk about the present. Let's talk about the future. Is there a future for a man who almost died this weekend? I don't know if there is, but I know there's a future for you. And Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Just go there, become his friend. Also, did you know this? He's got a closed group. What? Yes. If you want to join his band of merry men and ladies and join his group, This Is Dumb, That's Dumb, You're Dumb, I'm Dumb, where they make fun of the world and guffaw and elbow each other in the ribs and say, nudge, nudge, is she a goer? And a lot of the ladies in there are goers. Don't kid yourself. And also in the closed group, there's a talking bean and a talking, it looks like a squashed monkey. And then there's a refrigerator who's a jagoff. And then there's a hot chick who wears a bikini. There's all of these people. This cast of characters is available to you if you just go and join This Is Dumb, That's Dumb, You're Dumb, I'm Dumb. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, how do I join? Well, here's the thing. Become his friend at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and then send him a note. When you send him a note and go, hey, man, I want to be in this group, he's going to send you some questions to answer. Don't be cute. Just answer the questions and then you're in the group. And then you can tell everybody. Then you get your fucking decoder ring and your patch for your jacket. It's fucking cool. You get your tattoos and the Mexi Comes Alive album. You'll love them. So do that. Become part of the group. And again, like I've mentioned, he does all of these cool ass things, artwork and stuff online. And what? He has a podcast? Is that what I'm getting? No, hold on. You can't see me, but I have my finger in my ear right now. I'm getting a message that says he has a podcast. You should check it out, ladies and gentlemen. His podcast is available right now. It is called The Phlegmcat Podcast. That's right. The Phlegmcat Podcast is available right now wherever finer podcasts are downloaded or sold. The Apple Podcast Space, the iTunes Store. I think he's available at Ghibli. Is that a place where you get podcasts? I don't know. Perhaps it is. What else? There, Pandora, Stitcher. He's at Spotify probably. So go ahead and find his podcast, The Phlegmcat Podcast. That's 2 words, by the way. Well, it's 4 words actually, but it's 2 words in the middle. Phlegmcat. Make sure you separate those. PHLEGM Cat. The Phlegmcat Podcast, available now for you to go and pick up or download and listen to and love. And he does all sorts of music. And like I said, there's all sorts of crazy characters in there. They're singing. They're joining him. He's talking a lot about my godson Valentine this week. You should check that out because Valentine is a goddamn genius. And yeah, man, that's what you want to do. And also, let me tell you this: if you love the podcast, which you will, if you love the closed group, which you do, and you want to think to yourself, well, what else can this guy do? Can I hire him to do something? You certainly can. Hire this dude to do some artwork for you. That's what I would do if I was you. He'll do a painting for you. He just did a lovely painting for me. Well, he did a lovely painting, and then I scooped it up before it went out to the general public because I knew my lovely friend Bridget would enjoy it. And it was a Marilyn Monroe portrait that he did, and I snagged it right away. I wrote him, I go, how much? And he's like, all right, I'll take it down, which was nice. So go check out the artwork that he's done and think to yourself, I want him to do stuff for me. And be careful. Don't just give him some weird assignment. Make sure you know exactly what you want him to do. You want him to paint your dogs like my friend Justin did? He'll do it. You want him to paint you running up a hill? He'll do that as well. Like Kate Bush, or is she running up the hill? Yes, she was. She's not running down the hill. If you want to be running down the hill to meet Kate Bush, he'll happily paint you doing that. Why not? Whatever you hire him to do, he can do it. Like I said, if you go to facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and check out all of the stuff that he's done, you'll get an idea of what he can do. He works in watercolor. He works in oil. He works in jelly. I think he'll paint you in jelly. Yeah, no grape jelly though. He's not white trash. The guy will paint you in a strawberry jam or a raspberry jam with seeds. That's the only jelly he works in. God damn it! Although you know what, he'll do a mint apple jelly as well. He's not a barbarian. If you say to him, you know what, I paint a lamb with mint apple jelly, he can do that, and he'll send it to you, and you'll fucking love it. And you'll think to yourself, why didn't I hire him to do this before? And then you'll think to yourself, thank God Mike told me about this. So in reality, thank me. This is really my creation. This is my doing. You'd never know about this fucking guy sending you mint lamb jelly fucking pictures if it wasn't for me spouting it out. You're lost in the internet wilderness. You know what? Let me tell you this. If you want him to make a guitar out of your uncle's bones, call the guy. He's the man. He will make a guitar out of your uncle's bones. You want to see him put some fucking phalanges on the neck? He'll do it. He'll get a goddamn thigh bone, which is connected to the knee bone, which is connected to the Floyd Rose tremolo, and then he fucking busts it out like a whammy bar. He'll fucking make it work. Hire the man to do all of these things. Like I said, you can check out his artwork at facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez, but also please don't be afraid to go check out his website. What? In addition to a podcast and everything else, the man has a website? He does. It's called artbydmh.com. Please go visit it today. ARTY? Fuck that. No, artbydmh.com. I got it wrong? Really? You know why? Because my neighbor turned his shower on, and I think you guys can hear it. And now I'm like, God damn it, I got to outrace the shower. What does it matter? It doesn't matter. Somebody's getting scrubby-dubby next door. That's fine. It makes the show even better. Thinking about my naked neighbor. It's the only podcast that has a naked neighbor. I've done this show naked before. Why shouldn't my neighbor be naked during the show? Go to his fucking website, artbydmh.com. That's artbydmh.com.
Cancer isn't free, and the challenges don't end when treatment is finished. For cancer survivors in their 20s and 30s, the stacks of medical bills, empty savings accounts, and time away from work can be catastrophic. No one should have to choose between seeing their doctor or keeping the lights on, or make the decision to skip their medication because they need to feed their families. Yet these are the choices that too many young adult cancer survivors make every day, and COVID-19 has added an extra layer of financial stress and uncertainty. The SAM Fund and Expect Miracles Foundation have provided over $2.5 million in grants to young adults across the country, but the need is greater than ever due to the pandemic. Please join us in supporting their efforts by making a donation to Expect Miracles Foundation's Sam Fund program today. To learn more or make a donation, visit thesamfund.org. That's thesamfund.org.
Just a little hobby of mine with your phone, just a way of passing the time on your own. Just some pics of me looking fine and at attention. Now she wants to borrow my phone. Don't let her. Hope she leaves the scroll bar alone. She better. Can't let her see those photos I own. But then it happened. Lily saw my cock. Oh no, oh, Lily saw my cock. Oh no, oh, Lily saw my cock. And that's not cool. Now she seems uncomfortably numb, like a stoner. Handing her my phone was so dumb. Saw your boner. She had to go all road with the thumb. And now you're ruined. It's not like I was breaking the law. We get your meaning, but he looks so good in the raw. He's kinda leaning. I hope it was the good one she saw when he was heavy. Lily saw my cock. Oh no, oh, Lily saw my cock. Oh no, oh, Lily saw my cock. And that's not cool. All this time I've been afraid, but I guess in the end, all I ever wanted to do was hang out in front of my friends, share with them the beautiful one. The guy in my phone is fun. He'll bat his eye and then he'll cry in photo 31. Lily says the photos are slick, but grainy. She said my little friend's looking thick and veiny. She's not excused herself to get sick, and that's a good sign. I tell Lily there's just one thing more to ease your shame. The one thing that we cannot ignore, it's fair game. The only way to even the score, show me your nipples. Lily saw my cock. Oh yeah, Lily saw my cock. Oh yeah, Lily saw my cock. And that's so cool. Lily saw my cock. Oh yeah, Lily saw my cock. Oh yeah, Lily saw my cock. And that's so cool. Lily saw my cock. Oh yeah, Lily saw my cock. Oh yeah, Lily saw my cock.
Hi, I'm stand-up comedian and sex symbol Tig Notaro.
And I'm actor and writer Cheryl Hines.
Before Cheryl and I got into the big business of podcasting together, we were just simply friends.
And we're still friends. But now we talk about a different documentary every week on our podcast, Tig and Cheryl, True Story. So whether you love documentaries or just want to hear us slowly lose our minds, check out Tig and Cheryl, True Story, wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, cool.
Sponsors? Well, I mean, other sponsors. I know you just heard sponsors, but there's other sponsors as well. Did you know that? Are you aware of this? Let me drop that knowledge on you right now. This podcast, it's not just a voice in the wilderness, man. It's got sponsors. It's held up by several strong columns of financial support via the Misfit Toys Co-op, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later. But mainly, our most important sponsor is you, the listener. Stupid. All right. Our fantastic friend, Fearful Jesuit. What? Yes. He's my friend. He's also fantastic. He also texted me to make sure I wasn't holding a razor blade to a vein at some point in the last few days. He's a very kind man, reaching out to me, and it makes me very happy. He sends me a monk-type blessing. A monk writes a prayer for me on a grain of rice. They mail it to me. I boil it and eat it. It's perfect. It lives inside me. Words of encouragement from the silent monks and Fearful Jesuit himself. And then he has Dana Unicorn call me, and she speaks in her very clipped and proper accent and wishes me well as well. So I thank them, and I sponsor them in word and in deed as they sponsor this podcast thusly. The Paranoid Strain is their podcast. That's what Fearful Jesuit does. I'm sorry, my throat feels weird. And it's like, because my throat is also fucked up because I've been throwing up for days. And I don't have any stomach acid left because I went under, I had a Goebbels experiment where they fucking cut my stomach and turned it into a fucking coin purse, as I've told you about. And they drained me of bile. I have no more bile in me. I have a competition in me, Henry. I want no one else to succeed. But I don't have bile in me. I have competition in me, but not bile. Fearful Jesuit is the best. He's a podcaster. He's a monk. He's all of the cool things that you would. Well, he's not really a monk. He's the leader of the monks. So what does that make him? King monk? Captain monk? Super monk? Maybe he's super monk. How about that? Oh, maybe he's super chunk. How about that? Let's fucking do that. Let's get some, what's the name of that album? When the loud clattering starts? What the fuck is the super chunk album that I like? I forget. Maybe he's super grass. Ding, 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 ding. We are young. We are free. That's Supergrass for you. Maybe somebody else was super in it. Maybe he's part of the BT Express. I'm going to shut up now. Listen to me. Fearful Jesuit is a man who holds podcasting dear and near to his heart. And he does it very well. The Paranoid Strain is the podcast, delving deep into conspiracy theories and the history of the world and all sorts of, well, he had a series of shows where he's like, I wonder if reality is real, and that'll fuck your brain up. But he's the best at what he does. He does really great work. I'm not just saying that because he sponsors the podcast. He is my pal, and he's very good. He just dropped Archive Episode 17, Part 3. It is the third segment of the archive presentation of what was originally Episode 17, Reality Part 1. This segment features a full interview with Professor Martin J. You remember fucking Martin J., right? That guy? Of course. And then there's some Eastern philosophy stuff, and there's all sorts of fun stuff. You should just check it out. Listen to me. You don't need me to break it down for you. You want to hear about any number of topics, you would listen to the show. How about that for a generic fucking example? You want to hear about any number of topics? That's the show for you, The Paranoid Strain. No, man, they break it down. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't just listen to this week's. Listen to all of the past shows. You'll find yourself champing at the bit for more, and they're coming. He's working on them hard all day, every day. I owe him some homework, as a matter of fact, and it'll be getting there today, later tonight, because my voice now is fried from doing a fucking podcast. But I promise that there will be... Why am I talking to him directly through the show? I could text the man. I've got his goddamn number. You know what? Just call me Ricky, because I will not lose his fucking number. I wish I had Dana Unicorn's number. I'd write her a very proper text. How are you? I am fine. Do you like me? Circle 1. Yes or no? All right, so listen. The Paranoid Strain is a podcast. It's hosted by our great friend Fearful Jesuit. It's available now in the iTunes store. It's available on Spotify. It's available all over the goddamn world. He sponsors this show. Show him a kindness. Do him a kindness by downloading his show, checking it out. Hey, and you want to write him a note? Here's his email address. theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. I always have to take a break there because it sounds, when it runs together, it sounds like I'm not giving the right address. theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. Write the man. Tell him you love him. Tell him you love the show. Tell him you heard it via me. Tell him you love me too. Confess your love for everything. Tell him you love Dana. You love Richard Nixon. You love Professor Martin J. You love all of these things. They're all perfect. That's exactly who you need to love, ladies and gentlemen. So please write him a note, theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. But most importantly, subscribe and download. Leave a note in the iTunes store, if you will, a review, telling them you love it. If you want to mention you heard about it from me, that'd be cool too. But mainly, leave a review about how much you love the show, because it is fantastic. He works extremely hard on it. Dana also works extremely hard. The two of them are doing things that I can't do, and I'm always fascinated by that sort of thing. Go check out the Paranoid Strain podcast. It is well worth your time, not just because he's a sponsor, not just because he's a friend, but because he's a damn good broadcaster. Check it out, man. The guy works hard. I think you should download it and listen right now. Right now. Well, not right now. Let me finish. So there you go. The Paranoid Strain sponsor us. And also, I'm part of the Misfit Toys Co-op. I'll tell you that now. Listen to that pen. The Misfit Toys Co-op, an amalgamation of podcasts, a Voltron, if you will, of podcasting excellence. Podcasting excellence. With, the head of the Voltron, of course, is Jimmy Pardo. And Matt Belknap and the rest of the gang over there at Never Not Funny doing the big work, getting things done and doing fantastic work for the Misfit Toys Co-op. Also, Doug Benson. I don't know if you know this about Doug. He loves movies. Doug Benson loves movies so much, he's created a podcast called Doug Loves Movies, also part of the Misfit Toys Co-op. The Todd Glass Show with Todd and guests and craziness and drums and cymbals and yelling and probably sweating. Todd's really good at what he does as well. You want to check him in. One of the funniest, dude, I saw him before I was even doing comedy. I saw him at the Santa Monica Improv when he was telling Pam Madison she wasn't bombing and she should just keep going. And it was great. It was really encouraging and fun to watch. And then he opened a brick wall on his truck outside and did more stand-up for money. Todd Glass is a machine. The Todd Glass Show can be downloaded as well. No Fun with Jen Kirkman. Jen Kirkman does a video version of her podcast. She's talking. She's answering emails. She's a goddamn dynamo. Even staying in these COVID-ridden days, she's finding a way to go ahead and be happy and peppy and bursting with love and do a podcast called No Fun with Jen Kirkman. You should download it now. You should subscribe. You should go ahead and check out the video part of it. I think she's in the 370s, I think. And it's funny. I see her video clip that she puts up on Twitter and she's like, episode 380, whatever the fuck, of No Fun with Jen Kirkman. And I'm like, oh, how quaint. Until I realized that the years she wasn't podcasting, she was writing on major shows. So she's fucking banking cash. And I'm just like, hi, duh, I'm a podcaster, duh. But I'm proud of it. And she is as well. Go check out No Fun with Jen Kirkman. And also, Let Me Watch Your Movie With You by Jonah Ray, which can be sung to the tune of AC/DC's Let Me Put My Love Into You, Baby. Let me watch a movie with you, Jonah Ray. Let me watch a movie with you, with Jonah Ray. Let me put my love into you. I can't do a Brian Johnson. Although my throat's all fucked up now just from talking and throwing up, so I'm sure I sound like a Brian Johnson. I just need to be Scottish. Is that Scottish? I know if it's not Scottish, it's crap. I learned that from a film. We're going to yawn. Hold tight, everybody. Ooh, try to fight it off. All right. So check out all of the shows in the Misfit Toys Co-op. There's Never Not Funny. There's Doug Loves Movies. There's the Todd Glass Show. No Fun with Jen Kirkman. Let Me Watch Your Movie With You with Jonah Ray. And me at the 40-Year-Old Boy. Look at us. We're the 6 tent poles holding up some sort of weird cliff house that people used to look over Los Angeles from the 70s. Wasn't there a movie? Oh, isn't it? And The Nice Guys, doesn't one of those houses collapse? I think it does. All right. Let's talk about cash, man. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about dough. Let's talk about Ray. Let's talk about me. Let's always talk about me, goddammit. You want to hire me for a cameo? Why wouldn't you? Want to hire me for a Valentine's Day cameo? Little late, motherfucker. But you can hire me from any other cameo. Have me call your friend and go, guess what, man? Baseball season's coming, haha. Or guess what, pal? Your cousin's got COVID, boo-hoo. I'm happy to do any of these things, whatever you need me to do. If you want me to call somebody and lecture them on the greatness of the 1976 Oakland Raiders, I can do it. If you want me to talk about the 1981 New York Islanders, I can do it in depth. Let's talk about John Tinelli, number 27. Let's talk about the Soup Bowl helmet of Butch Goring. Let's talk about Jethro, number 9, the best fighter and left wing in the history of hockey, Clark Gillies. I can talk about the Islanders. I can talk about those Raiders. I can talk about the 1980 Phillies if you want me to talk about them, absolutely. You want to discuss Greg Gross and Del Unser? Let's do it. Get me on the cameo and I can do it right fucking now. Happy to. You want me to talk about the 1983 Philadelphia 76ers? With fucking Moses Malone, Fofo, and Fo? You want me to talk about Doc Julius Irving? You want me to talk about the Boston Strangler, Andrew Toney, and Mo Cheeks in the backcourt? Come on. Who wants a piece of Caldwell Jones? Who wants a piece of Bobby Jones? I don't think anybody does. All right. So I can do all those things on Cameo. I can also talk about tenderness. I can talk about love. I can talk about whatever you want me to do. If you want me to tell somebody their puppy is nice or their spaghetti is good, I can, I can do that. I don't know why that struck me as so funny. You know why? Because only in that moment, only in that sentence, did it strike me just how pathetic Cameo is. I mean, I joke about it all the time. I'm happy to make $15 here and there, but only in that run, that verbal run right there, well, I can tell somebody their puppy is nice or their spaghetti is good. Only then did it cascade upon me just how incredibly fucking stupid the concept is. But if you need me, I'll be there, goddammit. Reach out, just like Michael and Tito and Jermaine and Jackie. I will be there. Reach out, and I'll be there. But if you want to just look over your shoulder, honey, I'll be there, as the Four Tops would say. Either one, whomever you want me to be like, I'll do it. If you want me to talk about puppies and spaghetti, I can fucking do it. Cameo is available. You get there's a bookcameo.com, or it's an app you put on your phone. You can look at all of the most famous people in the world whoring themselves out for birthday cash, or you can find me, a man desperate to stay afloat, and hire me to do whatever the fuck you want me to do. John Cleese, like, here was another thing too. I'll tell you this. This is totally, I don't know if I discussed this already. It's just stuck in my brain. Fucking, the whole appeal of me was that I got nothing else to do. So I'd talk for like 15 minutes. I didn't give a fuck. A lot of people, because I would see in the early cameos, people are doing 90 seconds and all this shit. And I was like, all right, well, fuck this. I'm going to trump that. I'm going to give these people a personal experience. Dude, fucking John Cleese is doing 15 minutes cameos. John Cleese is like, hire me for a 15-minute cameo. I'm like, what the fuck? And because again, he's got a life to talk about. He's got fucking dead parrots and silly walks and all sorts of bullshit he can talk to you about. That's not fair, Cleese. Step off that platform, man. You don't need this cash, do you? Do you need it that badly, Johnny? I don't know, JC. You're fucking leaving me in a goddamn lurch. You know what? Hire me to fucking give a cameo to John Cleese for 15 minutes, and let's see if he and I can have an argument. Let's say I came in here for an argument. He's going to go, no, you didn't. And then we're off to the goddamn races. I will say this. I have no idea what Cleese is charging for 15 minutes or whatever the fuck, but I know it couldn't possibly be in the neighborhood of me. I'm charging $15. Cleese won't get out of bed for less than 150. That's my guess. Cleese doesn't dial the fucking phone for less than 200. So, but still, he's the man. He told me I was funny when I met him. That's all I cared about. Made my life. But now he's my competition. And again, as I've mentioned before, I have a competition in me, Henry. I want no one else to succeed. So take that, Cleese, you fuck. Giving out your goddamn phone messages. You want a piece of me? I don't think you do. You think that parrot was dead? You will be an ex-cameo person. You will. This cameo is no more. All right. So please hire me for cameo. Why not? What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a little horn boy. You can click on that. There's a PayPal button. You want to send me some PayPal cash? Of course you do. You can send me a one-time payment. You can do a monthly payment, whatever you want to do. Whatever you think you can do to help this show financially. Keep us afloat and support us. And I'm using the royal us because it's me. It's only me. It's me and my naked neighbor in his showers and 4 a.m. podcasts. And God damn it, the podcast Dracula needs your cash. So go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. In the upper right-hand corner, again, there is that PayPal button. It's a horn boy. You click on it and give me a one-time payment of thousands of dollars. Or you can just subscribe for hundreds of dollars a month. These are just suggestions. Certainly go ahead and choose your own level of currency and donation. But it's nice of you to think of me, and I appreciate it very much. And also, if you want to be a Patreon patron of this show, you can do that. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. Become a patron of the show. Now, I mentioned last week there was somebody. Here's who I wanted to shout out. Our good friend Keijo. In Montreal, she adjusted her donation to make it American funds instead of Canadian funds, and it gave me a little bump up. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it, Keijo. Thank you for thinking of me. Our good friend Tanya does that all the time as well. She's lovely. All the Canadian people are super generous to me, and they make me very happy. Thank you so much for being up there. I cannot wait to venture to America's Hat and then back to Japan and all over the goddamn world. I'm not going to sit still, or I'll hide in the dark. I haven't decided. It's 50-50. Either I become a globetrotter or I become even more sedentary and bake myself directly into the couch. We will see. Become a patron at patreon.com/Mike40YOB like Keijo did when she bumped up her cash, and you guys will be just my friends forever. That's how you do it. Thank you for thinking of me. Become a patron at Patreon today. Patreon.com/Mike40YOB. I have channels Did I mention the channels? I got plenty of channels, goddammit. I've got youtube.com/the40year-old-boy. Check that out. It's got 12 years of podcasting archival excellence. You can hear, like I said, you want to hear the show I was naked? Go listen to that. Want to hear a show from a airport? Want to hear a show when I was probably hiding from my ex in a bedroom somewhere? Go ahead and listen to that one. That was great. Those are all available right now and more. Go check them out at the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the40year-old-boy. While you're there, why not follow the channel? That'd be great. Subscribe to the channel. It lets them think I'm a hitter. I have to be over 1,000 to monetize the channel, and I'm in the middle of figuring all of that out. Because you know what? It was monetized and then it wasn't. And now they're telling me I can do it again. So I don't know anything. I'm not Technical Joe. Who the fuck am I, right? But I'll figure it out eventually. But what helps is if people subscribe. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, go do that. That'd be pretty cool. youtube.com/the40year-old-boy. Also, did you know I have a Twitch channel? What? You're goddamn right I do. Twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. What? Twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. I'm usually on, I'm certainly on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes Wednesday. We're usually not on Saturday, Sunday, but the grind is coming where I'm going to have to start doing that more and more. The thing is, I don't, I want to make sure people are going to be able to come when I do it. And I know that sounds strange, but like if you're doing it to yourself, then I'm just like, what am I doing this for? You can play video games in your house without a shirt on with nobody watching you, but I got to put a shirt on if people are going to watch me. That's technically not a rule. I don't have to wear a shirt. I just feel it's best for me in the broadcast. Twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. I'll be on later today. We might be playing puzzles. I might be playing swords. Who knows? Sometimes it's just chatting. Sometimes we go to a trailer park. We watch some trailers and think of movies or games we could buy in the future. I just knock something over. Sometimes there's taste tests. In fact, one of the things I just knocked over is an upcoming taste test that I will have at twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. Now, I've streamed yesterday, which was Tuesday. There was no taste test. You know why? Because I can't keep food down because of fucking Jersey Mike. But there will be taste tests this week and they're of the savory variety. Nothing sweet. I'm almost, a listener, a great friend, Christy, sent me some baklava and I am almost done. I think I have 2 pieces left of the baklava. It's a tough eat. It's delicious, but it is so heavy, man. Like you're eating it and it is syrup and layers and it's fucking awesome, man. But then you eat 1 or 2 pieces and you're like, oh, but in a good way. You're not like, it's not sick. You're just heavy. And I'm already heavy, but still, regardless, the taste tests I'll be doing this week will be of the savory variety. It doesn't matter. What do you care? Just come and check it out. I can tell you that this Wednesday, today, February 17th, I'll be streaming at 4:00 p.m. this afternoon. But you're not going to listen to this before then. But if you do, cool. Join us at twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy. And then you can follow or subscribe to the channel. And then you'll always know when I'm on. Playing games, doing stuff, talking to the masses. Masses seems high, but I hope you'll come and join it at some point. Twitch.tv/the40year-old-boy is a channel that you should check out. Now, look, I will tell you this. I understand if you can't check it out because you're involved in the weather nonsense that's going on around the country right now. And I am telling you, I am terrified for all of you. I feel so bad. I wish there was something I could do. Please do your best to hang in there. We have friends and listeners in Texas. We have friends and listeners in Oregon. We have friends and listeners in Washington State. Everybody, please stay as safe as you possibly can. Now, yesterday, our great friend Michelle checked in on Twitch, even though she's on just battery power. Like her house is all screwed up. She's got a fire going. Her kids are sleeping in a fucking bush. And yet she still popped in to say hi. We love Michelle, don't we? She's the best. And we love everybody who comes to the Twitch channel. But I got to be honest, our friend Liana right now is in Texas. She had no power yesterday. I got my friends Andrew and Pam. They're there. Other listeners as well. And you know what fucking drives me crazy? Look. I'm so sick of fucking people like picking sides and making fights for no reason. Like like I said, we're all people. People are people. Why should it be that you and I would get along so awfully just because you're in Texas, a red state, and I'm in California, a blue state? Who the fuck knows who you support? Who knows what you like? Why should I even fucking care? You know what I mean? I mean, look, yes, if you're one of those fucking idiots who's like, death to immigrants, then you're a dick. All right, fuck you. But if you're just a person, I'm just rooting for you, man. I don't want people in fucking Texas to be frozen. There are people who are like, if you were in a blue state, you wouldn't be freezing right now. What the fuck does that even mean? Fucking, and then when the fires come and they laugh at us, you're going to be like, you shouldn't laugh at the fires. Nobody should laugh at anybody, man. Climate change is swallowing the earth, and there's not a lot we can fucking do about it. All we can do is try to ride it out and be as good as we possibly can to one another. So if somebody's freezing, or they need fucking blankets, or they wind up with no power, I mean, I'm reading about unfortunate poor people who are sleeping in cars and dying from carbon monoxide poisoning. And this is shit that used to happen when I was a kid. Also, you'd always hear like 10 stories a winter about someone sleeping with a fucking space heater in their house and it tipped over and a tenement burned down and everybody fucking died. Like, it's a tragedy, man. It's a tragedy what people are going through. And with climate change, this is going to happen more and more often. We're going to have intense fucking heat. We're going to have crazy fucking cold. The water's going to run out. And it's just going to be a mess. And then, you know what's even worse? You guys are down there in fucking Canada, in Texas. And I heard this. I heard Paul Gilmartin's going to come down and make some burgers for you. Holy fuck, that can't be good for anybody. I know you're hungry. I know it's cold and it's dark, but nobody wants to pack away last decade's meat. Nobody wants to shove that in their maw in the middle of the freezer, right? You're fucking trying to sleep it off. Everybody's doing what they can to stay warm. Just wrap yourselves around your friend. Wrap yourselves around your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other, whomever. Get 10 dogs in the bed. Invite some homeless people over to just have a group warm-up session. Do whatever you fucking need to do to survive this fucking mess, because it's going to be more and more like this coming. It's going to be fucking weird ass storms here and there, fucking hail the size of baby lambs and shit like that. It's going to come falling down and crack us all in the skull. And there's not going to be anything we can do about it except reach a hand out and try to help people when they need fucking help. That's all you can do.
If there's anything I like more than me, it's people who like me. I love me, but if you love me, I love you. 'Cause you know why we both love me. How great am I? Let's talk about that for a while. And by a while, I mean forever.
Podcast.